Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Tate, let me know. Let me know. Technical difficulties are always an amazing thing to have. Especially sucks when I'm having to constantly change locations, but that's part of being at college and having to share a room with other people. Sometimes I can't be in there. So currently I'm actually in a piano room where I could just practice. There's a bunch of rooms where you can practice piano if you're a music major. I'm not, but I've kind of just taken one of those. And we're going to be using that today. I think we'll try and have a different situation in the coming weeks. Yeah, anyways, that's the situation today. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe and comment in the chat who you think is going to get the victory here today at Phoenix. 312 laps, the total distance 500 miles. And what I was saying is that if you are looking at championship contenders when we get to Phoenix in the fall, you're going to want to see who runs well here today. All four of the championship four drivers last year finished in the top 6 in the spring race. So a good indicator of if your driver is going to run well at Phoenix, you want him to run well here today. So, yeah, like if Kyle Larson, he qualified all the way down in 17th. Me, I'm concerned. Also, though, we could have a change in package once again before we even get to Phoenix. So that means that we're going to have a whole different cards, a whole different deck of cards dealt to the drivers and engineers. So that can also change things. Is the sound like generally okay too? Let me know on that. It's kind of hard for me to, I can't really tell since I'm talking. Here we go. For the green flag, about to be out for the first lap here. Denny Hamlin on the inside, Ty Gibbs on the outside. I think Ty Gibbs could get his first Cup Series win here today. And as they come off of turn number 4, the green flag is in the air for the first time today. And Ty Gibbs really pinches down on the door of Hamlin as they cut down across the dogleg. The field spreads out further back. Now they're 3 wide, even 4 wide further back through turns 1 and 2 for the first time. Ty Gibbs taking a high arc through 1 and 2, and he's going to be the leader off of turn number 2. And Denny Hamlin's not clear for second yet. Here comes Eric Jones. 3 Toyotas in the top 3 right now after 1 lap. And Ty Gibbs, they're going to get tight there back. In the pack, Daniel Suarez, Christopher Bell, a few others getting squeezed. And across the line, Ty Gibbs will lead lap number 1. They're side by side for second still. Eric Jones has a slight advantage over Denny Hamlin. Further back, it's Elliott and Reddick, your top 5. Then Byron, Briscoe, Gregson, Josefar, and Truex, your top 10 after 1 lap. I think Jones is going to clear Hamlin now. Off turn number 2, Hamlin dropping back here on the initial start from 1st to 3rd in the first 2 laps. Further back, now we got 3 wide here for second yet. I think that's Chastain, Blaney, and Buescher. Also, Larson in the picture here. He's trying to pick up some spots after qualifying 17th. You'd expect more from that 5 car. He's already up to 13th in the opening laps. And right on board, Joey Logano further back. Oh, so I think Harrison Burton might have caught the wall a tiny bit there off of turn number 2. And McDowell's trying to work the high line in turns 3 and 4 to get around Noah Gragson. And Noah Gregson's going to get passed high, and he's going to get passed low at the same time by Martin Truex Jr. Noah Gragson looking for some more takeoff speed right now. Phoenix tends to be a long-run track, so even though you see some guys attacking here early on, we're really going to want to see once we get about 15, 20 laps into the run, who's making moves then, who's able to pick up positions as the laps continue on, because we're probably going to end this race on a long run. So you want to have that long-run pace, that way you can just go out and build a buffer to the car behind you and not have to worry about defending. And it looks like Larson's about to clear Suarez for 12th. Meanwhile, just ahead of him, Truex and Gregson still feuding over that 10th position. They've been side by side for about 3 laps now. And looking for some drive off on the bottom line. Truex still can't clear Gregson. Obviously, we're not going to be able to see a great glimpse into what this package really looks like once we get further on in the run. Right now, though, it looks like we're seeing a good amount of passing. Things are staying good for the opening, 5 laps. So really, with any package, the opening few laps should be pretty good. Oh, we got a big crash here on the back straightaway. The 16 and the 3, Derek Kraus. Oh, Austin Cindric as well. Austin Dillon. Derek Kraus, I believe his second Cup Series start. He ran all right in the first race. Finished better than his teammate Daniel Hemrick. I think he ended up finishing in the top 25. But already, I'd say this is pretty much race-ending damage here for Derek Kraus. Gonna have to get a glimpse here of what happened. The left front looks pretty killed on the 2 of Austin and Cedric. Definitely a broken toe link. But I mean, outside of that, if they can somehow repair that toe link, if that is what the problem is, I think he should be able to keep going. Not too much cosmetic damage. But Austin Dillon, Derek Krause, those guys definitely got the worst end of the stick here.
Let's have a look at what happened here.
This is pretty far back outside the top 25. Looks like Krause is, or no, Krause just lost it. Just lost it, and then nowhere for the 2 to go, or the 3. Priest and a few others lucky to escape that without getting damaged. I mean, that was really just took out quite a few of those guys right at the back of the pack there. Austin Dillon just doesn't get on the brakes there fast enough, and he just gets into the back of the 2, but the 2 is already into the 16 at that point. And the tough year continues for Austin Dillon. Yeah, he's already going to be in a massive points hole. Usually, I mean, not last year, I think even the year before, but, Austin Dillon had qualified for the playoffs a few times, just, off being consistent and a few lucky wins. But, he'd really been known as a consistent driver. Further back, recently, Austin Dillon just did miss the playoffs last year, and really, so far, I mean, a lot of this can kind of be chalked up to luck, just being in the wrong place, wrong time. Not going to throw a whole bunch of this on driver skill, but already taken out in, I believe, 3 races this season. So, I mean, he's going to be a massive points hole. I don't know if consistency is going to be able to bail him out now, especially when you have so many new teams that are in contention for points week in and week out. I mean, big points on Spire, both the 7 and the 77, I think are going to be right around that cut line, or in the top 24-ish in points. So that's going to definitely bring 2 new contenders to the table. But yeah, that's our first commercial break of the day. We're going to go back over your run order, though, after the opening laps. It's 4 Toyotas in the top 4 positions. So Toyota is looking very strong right now. So we got Gibbs, Jones, Hamlin, Reddick. And then Elliott rounds out your top 5. Then Byron, Briscoe, Hocevar's moved up a few spots. So good to see that he qualified well and isn't fading. He's actually moving forward. Then McDowell and Gregson round out the top 10. Also, hey, Bon, see in the chat. Thanks for chiming in. Let me know in the chat who your pick is to win. Then you got Truex, Larson, Suarez, Blaney, Bell, your top 15. Further down the leaderboard, Nemechek, Chastain, Wallace, Stenhouse, and Logano. Right, some big movers I'm noticing here early on. I mean, nobody's picked up more than about 3 or 4 spots other than Kyle Larson's moved up 5 spots from 17th to 12th. I mean, Gregson, I think, is one of our... he's only lost, I think, 3 spots, so not losing too much ground yet. Now, I don't think you're going to see anybody pit here. We've only ran 5 laps. I just don't think it's worth to use a set of tires. There is a decent amount of tire fall off here, though, at Phoenix.
Get 0% or save thousands on a Mahindra Roxor HD during our spring sales event. NASCAR on Fox is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Bundle home and auto and...
All right. Okay.
And by Ford. Built Ford Proud.
Basically, off the opening drive, though, I mean, it looks like you can make some passes pretty easily. I mean, it was typical Phoenix from what I could see. They're still working on the 2 and the 3 in pit lane.
You're going to see Derek Krause right there. He just splits that yellow line and loses this car all by himself. And this car is hard to drive. And for new guys that come in or don't race all the time, it's hard to know when this car is going to spin.
Yeah, they're just looking at that replay of Derek Krause again. Yeah, Austin Dillon just... nothing you can do. Or, well, I mean, Austin Dillon, the only thing I would criticize, pretty much everybody around him got on the brakes a lot quicker. Maybe that's poor spotter communication. At the same time, he just kind of was lost in the cloud of smoke put up by the 16. Yeah, I mean, everybody else around him was just on the brakes a lot sooner. Tough break for Cindric. I felt like he had some good momentum going since Atlanta. He was kind of in the mix quite a bit for that, but...
Well, all these teams back here, you hate to say it, but it's a product of the bed you made for yourself. a tough qualifying session.
Looks like we're going to be going green next time by.
The Cinder car is going on the hook. They tried to make repairs on pit road. Looks like they're going to tow the number 2 back to the garage.
Yeah, it looks like Cendric's done. They're still working on the 3 of Austin Dillon, but I would highly doubt that he's got minimal damage to make it through.
Went to the back and then to the pits.
And you can see this crewman right here is going to put that wrench in right there. He's going to do the same thing on the other side. He's basically just been, sounds like he's been sideways, and they're just trying to get the wrench.
Kyle Busch, they're still working on adjusting that car. It looks like made 2 adjustments on both sides of the car.
Yeah, what they're doing is adjusting the wedge.
So that way, hopefully they're looking for some more pace. I mean, obviously, Kyle Busch qualifies 31st. His teammate also qualified back there outside the top 30. So, you know, that's serious lacking pace across both those cars. You don't really see that too often from RCR.
Put the wedge wrench in. Let's take a look right here, the back window. Now what you're doing, you're screwing down on that jack boat. And what that's doing, it's screwing down on a plunger that's inside that canister. And that canister...
But basically what the wedge adjustment does is it pushes more pressure into the suspension on the, whichever side it is. So that's just adjusting the amount of tension in the shock.
Remember, you won't wedge when the car's loose, which is exactly what's been going on with that 8 car.
Oh, the 16's actually all good through this. So the 16's still on the racetrack. We're about to get the green flag, though. Gibbs on the inside, I believe. We'll see when we cut to the front here. And
Everybody's still on the lead lap except Austin Dillon back in the race.
did it weird. The camera crew just totally whiffed on that one. We didn't even cut to the lead till we were all the way to like almost turn 1. Okay, Gibbs on the inside, Jones up high. We got who is that? Tyler Reddick making it 3 wide, down low to the inside of Hamlin and Jones. I don't think that's gonna stick. Further back, Byron's trying to get by his teammate Chase Elliott for the 5th position, and already, I think is that Kyle Larson knocking on the door? Oh no, that's Michael McDowell. Sorry, I saw the blue that looked like Hendrick blue. Except this week, it's not in the blue car for Kyle Larson. He's running that Valvoline scheme. And Reddick has got the inside of Hamlin through 1 and 2 this time. If Reddick can get on that door panel, side draft him a little bit down the back straightaway, he's not going to be able to. So Hamlin will hold on to the 3rd position for now, but already it looks like the 11 car is really lacking in takeoff speed. And Hocevar continuing to move forward. Now he is up to the 7th position in that 77, looking very strong. Also, Austin Dillon is back on the racetrack, 3 laps down, but yeah, I mean, he's got so much damage, and he's already 3 laps down. He's kind of just coasting around, hoping a few more guys crash out. Still some very aggressive racing back here outside the top 23 wide, a few rows deep. Ooh, Corey LaJoy is going to pinch the 51. That was a little bit of contact. Everything's going to move on smoothly, though. Gregson continuing to fade. Does not seem to have good takeoff speed. About to lose another spot to Kyle Larson. That'll drop him to 12th.
I would say with the pace that they're running today, you're probably going to just carry 4th gear all the way down the back stretch into turn 3.
Looks like McDowell's able to get around Hocevar using the outside line.
And Carson Hocevar holding well after starting 10th. He's 8th.
And we referred to him as a gasser. He is a guy, Carson.
Oh boy, over 3 wide here. Blaney, Gregson, and Larson. Greg Larson in the middle, Blaney down low. Gregson and Larson were side by side for quite some time. They're not allowed Blaney to have a run. Oh, Blaney's trying to pinch clear, but he's not. We're still 3 wide. Give the edge to Gregson on the top side. I think Blaney might have the drive here off turn 4 this time by, and he will. So Blaney's looking strong now.
Christopher Bell today. We get to run about 15 consecutive green flag laps. Watch for Bell to move toward the front.
It's really looking like you don't want to be stuck side by side with the car for very long. When you're side by side, you can just have a 3rd car enter the picture and just have a big run since you guys are slowing each other down and just make it 3 wide and almost go by it. Which, I mean, that's pretty typical of most racetracks, you know. You don't want to spend too much time side by side because of that side draft. That's inevitably slowing you both down.
Those guys have more laps of experience
All right. Big movers. That's the restart. Kyle Busch is up 10 spots. Josh Berry's up 6. Priest and Kozlowski are both up 4 apiece, and McDowell's up 3. So those are some cars on the move. Most of them are towards the back, so they still have a long way to get to the front. Getting close to the halfway point here in stage number 160 laps the distance.
In this day and age of racing, it's take everything that you can get, keep the track position, make it as difficult on that guy as possible behind you, beside you.
And Blaney continuing to go forward. He's going to get to the inside of Truex off of turn number 4, and that'll give him make it the 10th position. The lone Penske inside the top 10. Trying to make it 2 for 2 for the captain today after Joseph Newgarden got a victory in the IndyCar opener at St. Petersburg. Truex going to give Blaney a bit of a shot down the back straightaway into turn 3. Ty Gibbs the fastest lap of the race so far. I said earlier, today is a great day for Ty Gibbs to get his first Cup Series win. Out front by half a second right now over Eric Jones. Another half second back to Hamlin in 3rd. Still Toyotas all throughout the top 4. The next one's Truex in 11th. Bubba Wallace down, or Nemechek and Bubba Wallace down in 17th and 18th respectively. So struggling for pace a little bit more.
Huge opportunity for us. Phoenix is a big one. Right sides aren't likely, but they're possible. Most likely 4 tires all day. Nice, clean execution.
McDowell currently in 7th, holding off Hocevar. Then Briscoe and Blaney round out the top 10. Eric Jones starting to make up a little bit of ground on your leader. The gap's down to under 0.4 of a second. So last time by, Jones about a 1/10.5 faster than Ty Gibbs. If Eric Jones were to go out and win this race, that'd be a huge confidence boost for him. But also Legacy Motor Club really make them glad that they ended up changing manufacturers. Even if he doesn't get the win, if he runs top 5 most of the day, that'll be a great look for the 43 team. Meanwhile, his teammate, though, Nemechek, who ran in yesterday's Xfinity Series race, still further down the leaderboard, even though he was very competitive in the 20 car yesterday, until get kind of taken out by his teammate, 81, of Chandler Smith. All right, they're going to cut to commercial break, but we'll continue to try to bring you the action the best we can. And now Jones is going to give it about a 1/10 of a second back to Gibbs, so the gap goes back up over half a second. Still pretty early in the run. These guys haven't pitted yet. The first guy on fresh tires is Kyle Busch in 19th. So he is making up ground on fresh tires, but obviously nowhere near stage points yet. But yeah, anyway, I'd say once we get to about 40 laps in the stage, then we'll have run, I think, about 25 green flag laps on these tires. 30 green flag laps on these tires. That's when we'll see who's really got that long run car. And last time by, once again, Eric Jones giving up a bit of time to Ty Gibbs. In terms of tire fall off, if you're wondering how valuable tires are, you can see, over on the right side of your screen, I believe, you can see the last lap time and their best lap time. So for your leader, he has already fallen off just over a second per lap. So fresh tires, very valuable. And Blaney continuing to move forward as he's now gotten by Briscoe for the 9th position. So that's a car to keep an eye on. Josh Berry's also moving forward on fresh tires. He's cracked the top 20. And Nemechek starting to fall back a little bit. He was in 17th before he went to break, and now he's all the way back to 22nd. Those guys in the back half of the field are starting to get caught by the people that took fresh tires under that caution for the Derek Kraus spin. It's hard to really gauge the lap times on how valuable those fresh tires are, even though they only have maybe 6-7 lap advantage over the leaders. Because obviously they're in traffic, so their lap times aren't as good, going to be as good of a measure as Ty Gibbs, who's at the front of the field with no lap traffic. But in terms of their relative gap between their best times and their current times, they're only 0.3 slower than what they were running at the start of the run, whereas the people that didn't pit are running about 5/10 slower, if not more, that are at least right around them on the racetrack. Gibbs continuing to pull away from Jones, the gap up to 0.8 of a second almost, as we are finally back from that commercial break. And we are at the halfway point in stage number 1. 30 laps complete, 30 to go. And speaking of the whole event, we're about at the 10% marker, 30 down out of 312. The leader's just running 1, 2, 3. Right now, the package, it's kind of hard to gauge if the package is improving the racing or making it worse. A lot of drivers are saying it was going to be worse. But at the same time, Phoenix is kind of never amazing racing regardless of package, unless we just kind of see a lot of cautions and more restarts. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll see some crazy stuff like random flat tires, like we did at Charlotte and a lot of quite a few tracks when the next-gen car was first revealed. But, yeah, I mean, right now, it doesn't look like we've seen anybody pass inside the top 5, really within the top 10, other than Ryan Blaney. Besides, or once you get 5 laps from the restart, really not a lot of passing. In terms of the lines, your leaders are taking Tyler Reddick back and forth. He's running higher up the racetrack than any of the top 3 ahead of him. The track will definitely widen out as the day goes on. More rubber gets put down. And hopefully that'll allow, better passing possibilities. Guys are able to run different lines. And the gap continuing to stay about 0.8 of a second from Gibbs to Jones, as Tyler Reddick might be the man to keep an eye on, as he's gotten to Denny Hamlin trying to pass his team owner. Now Hamlin's running that higher line, trying to learn something from what Reddick was doing to catch him. Reddick's just going low to get clean air on the nose. Clean air, obviously, still a big thing. Good thing there are multiple lines, because if you're at a one-line racetrack and you need clean air, well, good luck passing the guy in front of you, because he's going to be the one who has it. Further back, Blaney's getting close to Hocevar. We'll see if he can make a good pass on the 77. He seems to be one of the strongest cars right now. If he gets stuck, then that'll definitely be a bad sign for this package if we're having fast cars not able to pass the guys ahead of them. Lap traffic could also play a factor in terms of how the leader negotiates lap traffic. If they get stuck in the dirty air of the slower cars ahead of them, that'll erase any gap they have. I'm pretty sure we're going to encounter lap traffic before the end of the stage. Probably not too much, but definitely in the later stages where they're a lot longer, probably a lot longer green flag runs, leader's going to have to fight a lot more lap traffic. And now Hamlin's really just started running that high line Reddick was running, and that's pretty much stalled out any progress Reddick was making. Your top 4, though, still are staying very close considering how far we're into the run. We're about 30 laps into this green flag run. Your top 4 are still only 1.2 seconds apart. That's very tight margins here. But if you're close, it might be fun. But if you can't pass, who cares? Now it looks like Jones has started trying to move up as Hamlin was catching up to him using the high line. Blaney has now caught Hocevar, and he might give him a little bit of a tap almost. And he's going to just get right alongside him. He looks like he's going to make this pass go easy. Hocevar waving him on, and he's just going to let him go. Now, Hocevar knows the 12 is faster, so can't really judge that pass too much, as Hocevar just let him go, put his hand out the window. But that moves Blaney up into the 8th position.
stage and where you want to be on the racetrack.
Denny Hamlin's still trying to get by Eric Jones here.
Been on the top of the racetrack.
It looks like Hocevar's car is starting to fade a decent amount on the long run. I think he's probably going to end up dropping down to the top 10 here before we get to the end of stage 1. But still, an impressive run from the rookie, considering Zane Smith, the other rookie contender for the year, is down in 31st. And I believe Kaz Grall is also a rookie of the year contender, but he's all the way down in 34th, but in a Rick Ware car. So, not too shocking there. And Noah Gragson, though, after qualifying well inside the top 10, he's dropped back to 13th, kind of stabilized there. Still, I believe, is he the highest running Stuart Haas car? No, Briscoe's in 10th. But, if Stuart Haas can bring 2 competitive cars to the racetrack, and by competitive, I mean like top 10, top 15 minimum, that's definitely, I think, a step up from last year where it was really just Kevin Harvick just strong-arming that team in the top 5, top 10s on a weekly basis. There's no other Stuart Haas car that was consistently, a top 10, top 15 threat at all. You'd probably usually see one sneak in there occasionally, but not on a consistent basis. And they are going to cut to another commercial break. In terms of lap traffic, it's kind of hard to gauge how soon they'll catch the lap traffic. 29.3. Yeah, I think we'll probably catch 1 or 2 lap cars before the end of the stage here, but considering it'll be the Rick Ware cars, they'll probably let them go. Gibbs out front, though, by only 0.4 of a second, so the guys behind him have kind of closed in a little bit. Also, it looks like Reddick has gotten by Hamlin while we were under commercial break, so our first pass within the top 5 was under commercial. That's amazing. But it's really gotten a lot closer at the front. Your top 4 are only 0.8 apart. And then, Elliott and Byron are definitely chasing down those top 4. The gap's now only 2 seconds to Elliott in 5th. And now it looks like Reddick's trying to attack Jones based on the lap time difference. Reddick might be able to get up here and steal his stage win, or it might be just like last week in Las Vegas, where he's going to probably have the fastest car, but keep having to fight back to second place and not ever make it up to the lead due to pad pit stops or whatever. Also, Hocevar is now dropped down to the top 10. That 77 is really struggling on that long run now. Looks like he's going to get passed by Larson as well. That moves Truex into the 10th position. He'll have that final stage point in 13 laps as they run. Also, Kyle Busch got some fresh tires, made up some ground. He was up to 19th, but it looks like he stalled out and kind of dropped back to 21st. So, still not looking like a great day for Kyle Busch. Also, if you're just tuning in, only one incident so far. That was on lap number 5 for Derek Kraus, getting loose, being by himself, all alone in turn 2. And the 2 car of Austin Cindric had nowhere to go. He was out of the race. Austin Dillon ran in the back of the 2, and he's still going, even though it looked like he had more damage than the 2 car, but he is multiple laps down, out of contention. And Derek Kraus, the person that caused the incident, is the only one that's kind of gotten away with minimal damage and is still running on the lead lap. This is his second Cup Series start. And we are now back from commercial break, where Tyler Reddick is now all the way up to 2nd position, so he is definitely on the prowl here. It looks like Tyler Reddick might be able to jump up and get this lead from Ty Gibbs before the end of the stage. I said today looked like a great day for Ty Gibbs' first Cup Series victory, but Reddick, it appears, has other ideas. Also, thanks to everybody watching. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate just about 20 of you that are tuned in right now. And now Larson's gone by Hocevar. That is for the 11th spot on the racetrack. Can he chase down Truex to get that final stage point? I'm going to probably say no. But, yeah. That is as a Larson fan. And it looks like Reddick continuing to make that high side work. That's where he's making up the most ground. Ty Gibbs is still doing the bottom feeding right now with 11 to go. And Reddick, the gap only 0.2 of a second. The lap traffic is just ahead. That could definitely be a factor. Gregson is going to pass Hocevar here pretty soon as well. That 77 is almost free falling now. He's back to 13th. And Truex to the inside of Briscoe. That's for 9th. 10 to go. And they're making a very good point on the broadcast right now. Pit road penalties could be huge. Considering how hard it is to pass, you do not want to set yourself behind the 8 ball. Even this early on, only 50 laps into a 300-lap event, you are not going to be able to climb through the field in less than 100, 200 laps. You know, a penalty could almost be race-ending at Phoenix. Ooh, Reddick getting a little arrow loose behind the 54, Ty Gibbs. They're coming up on the wounded car of Austin Dillon. Yeah, Gibbs continuing to go low on both ends of the racetrack. Reddick running the high side in 1 and 2 and occasionally in 3 and 4.
He's got to move around, so it's tricky for him, but it's also an opportunity for Reddick. That's right. You time it, pounce on it right.
Oh, now Dillon's going to go low in 3 and 4. That's going to make Gibbs go up the racetrack. That's going to cost him some time. Reddick's on the bumper of the 54. This is the battle for the lead with 8 laps to go in stage number 1. Now, they're both going to be able to clear Dillon down low. I might have spoken too soon for Reddick. Reddick's trying to get to the inside of the 54, going way down on the apron, but still not enough. Now Gibbs will go low in 3 and 4. Reddick will go a little higher up the racetrack. As these guys battle, Hamlin's getting a little closer to him. We'll see when that next lapped car comes into the picture. If it does before the end of the stage, that could be a big factor in who wins this stage. If you get stuck behind that lapped car for just one set of turns, that's going to cost you about half a second. Reddick is so close to the bumper. Can he get a nose to the inside here? Into 3 and 4. Yes. Oh, no, just not quite. Yes, he can. Gibbs gives him the space. But Gibbs should have that better run off the corner on the high side at this point in the run. And yeah, he'll clear the 45 once again with 6 laps to go. He cuts the dog leg and now is back up to a comfortable about 3-4 car length lead. Comfortable might be a strong word, but more comfortable than a 1 car length lead.
And it also gives you 1 playoff point. You want to take all those points that you can get, whether you can get them for the race today or for the playoffs in the long run.
And Reddick looking to the inside of Gibbs off of 4, just trying to get some clean air on the nose. Man, he is so close. So close yet so far, I should say. Also, Elliott might be able to catch up to Eric Jones before the end of this stage. Reddick is trying really hard right now. He is already stuck after last week coming home to second place, to Kyle Larson in each stage at Las Vegas. He does not want that to be a repeat here in Phoenix. 4 to go now. Truex still holds on to the final stage point in the 10th position. Reddick might be able to get alongside here off of turn number 2. It looks like he's going to have a whole car length alongside almost. Into 3 and 4. This might be it right here. With 3 laps to go in the stage when they cross this stripe. Reddick going to power up the racetrack. Still not clear of Gibbs himself. Man, at the line, it was tight there. I think Reddick's going to have him here, though, in 3 and 4. Now he'll have that preferred line. And off of turn number 2, give it to Tyler Reddick. Also, I think I just said 3 and 4. It's, even though we've changed the Phoenix setup for like 5 years now, it still gets me confused sometimes. Having the ends of the racetrack flip-flopped, essentially. 2 to go now in stage number 1. Honestly, Denny Hamlin might be able to pass Ty Gibbs here. It looks like that 54 is really kind of fallen off. That clean air was kind of saving him there for a few laps. And down the back straightaway, going to be the white flag here in stage 1 next time by. And lap traffic did not come into play there throughout that about 40 lap run, actually more than that, 45 laps. So that's just a little note for later on, that it's going to take about 45, 50 laps for lap traffic to be a factor. I mean, I can see the lap traffic just outside the leader's windshield, about a quarter of a straightaway ahead. And across the line, Tyler Reddick will finally get that stage win after coming up close in Las Vegas. Gibbs in second, Hamlin third, Jones fourth, making it Toyotas all throughout the top 4. Then Elliott, Byron, Blaney, McDowell, Briscoe, and Truex holds on for the final stage point. Larson, Gregson, and Bell, the first drivers, just missing out on stage points there. Thanks to everybody watching. That's one stage in the books.
What? Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi that works all over the house, even the basement. The basement.
Also, see the distance of stage 2 here. I believe it's a decent amount longer.
Dreams do come true. Xfinity gives you reliable Wi-Fi with
125 laps the distance here in stage 2. I think that means the final stage is about 137, close to that, if I'm not mistaken. So they'll have to make one pit stop in each of the next 2 stages.
Xfinity 10G network.
The Barn Bar. The county's best hangout. Just got better.
Yeah, my reflections after that opening stage. Toyotas are strong, but track position is key. So if somebody can kind of cycle ahead through pit stops here, or people get penalties, that's going to be a very big, it's just being out front. A 2-tire gamble might be worth it. I don't know. I don't think we're going to see anybody do it here. But if we can have somebody take 2 tires at some point before we get close to the end, then we might see, okay, 2 tires is worth it. Just saving that time on pit road. There's the tire fall off is, you're able to survive. Especially if I was further back, if I'm like 15th, if I take 2 tires and I'm able to leapfrog to 5th, I just got to hold off 10 cars. 250 laps to go now. Still in the commercial break after that. We'll come down pit road. But, yeah, like I said, I think pit road's going to be huge, actually, considering how hard it is to pass. Definitely, though, once you get to about the 40-lap point in a run, I think that's where you really see big fall-off and big, gains for certain drivers. In the opening, 20, as the opening few laps, obviously you're able to pass because you're close together. But from lap, I'd say about 10 to 30 in the run, pretty hard to pass unless you have a significant handling advantage. Then when you get to lap 40, where there could be a significant handling advantage, depending on how you took care of your tires, depending on your car setup, that's when I think you'll see more passes is later on in the run. Yes, Jefferson, this is the track with the blue walls and where fans stand up on that hill. Rattlesnake Hill, I believe is what it's called, outside of turns 1 and 2. I think you actually still have to pay for tickets to go to Rattlesnake Hill. Actually, I'm not. I actually think that's they're pretty cheap. I'm pretty sure, but you still have to pay. You can't just walk up or sneak up. I'm sure you can probably find a way by to sneak up there for free. Anyways. All right. Pit road should be open this time by. See if anybody can pick up a few spots. Also, they've been doing these segments on the broadcast this year where they kind of highlight the crew members in their background. It's very cool. I'm surprised they haven't been doing this before.
Former college running back, former Coke 600 winner, and I'm the current Picker Challenge champion. Darrell Evans, Baltimore, Maryland, Jack Man.
Thanks for watching right now. You like Ryan Blaney? Well, thanks for tuning in.
Daytona 500 champion, 2019 Xfinity Series champion, and last but not least, Cameron's dad.
Dude, this track is very annoying because it's definitely technical, but it's hard to pass, but it can also feel great when you finally figure it out. Especially, I think, 1 and 2. Depends on which configuration you're playing on. The straightaways on the dog leg stretch or on just the straight stretch. But the flatter, longer turn, you can really just take so many different lines through there. Also, you can take that tighter line down low, but you're going to burn through your tires quicker, or you can kind of sail it in on the top side, take that longer line, potentially have a bigger run down the straightaway, and just save a little more tire. Okay, here we go. Pit road's open.
And a busy one. 34 cars on the lead lap, all eligible to pit. This time, there's a free pass car, Austin Dillon.
And we'll see any penalties for anybody. Also, they made a good point. 34 cars on the lead lap still. It's going to be a slammed pit road. You rarely see more than 30, 25 cars on pit road at once. Don't want to get tagged going in or going out of your pit stall.
Lacking lateral grip overall as he runs. Stayed pretty good on the fire off the 9 and Chase Elliott said he gets squishy swing on the left rear. Wants to tighten it up just a bit for the start of the run, but pretty happy.
And so far looking like pretty smooth stops for just about everybody inside of the top 5. Now we'll go to the race off of pit road. Everybody's taking 4 tires. And Hamlin's going to win the race off pit road with that #1 pit stall. That is huge. Reddick's going to drop to 2nd. Byron picks up 3 spots. Elliott picks up 1. Gibbs loses 3. Jones loses 6. Keselowski up 5. Wow, a ton happened on pit road. Losing 6 spots for Jones. That's super costly. Up 5 spots for Keselowski. That's a big gain. Then Gibbs even losing 3 spots, though, to go from 2nd to 5th. That #1 pit stall, huge. I remember that from the championship races. Qualifying, obviously, that's not everything. You have to have a good race car. But that #1 pit stall pays dividends. Denny Hamlin from 3rd to 1st there, and comfortably. He probably could have gone from 5th to 1st with that #1 pit stall. Anyways, Hamlin, Reddick, Byron, Elliott, Gibbs, the top 5. Then Blaney, Briscoe, Keselowski, Jones. Or, well, oh no, this thing's still inaccurate. I take it back. Unless Larson had to make another stop or something. Oh no, Larson's got to have some sort of penalty or something. Oh, he's dropped to the rear. Oh, just when I said you couldn't make a mistake like that. Okay, well, there goes our day. Phoenix, I can't stand this track as a Larson fan. It's killer. Try to see anybody else that dropped down leaderboard. Larson, Hocevar, down there at the bottom. I think they had problems based on it. This is assumption, but we'll find out from the broadcast when we get back live. But that's what it looks like here. Yikes.
Some of you in Pittsburgh might recognize me and attorney Nicole Nina for handling criminal matters throughout Pittsburgh and the surrounding communities. But what you probably didn't realize is...
All right. Okay. My guess is speeding something. I don't know. It just looks like some penalty. It could not have been a penalty. Maybe they felt like they had a loose wheel and he came back down to tighten it. All I know is he dropped from 10th on the leaderboard, or actually not even 8th on the leaderboard, all the way down to 33rd. As well as Hocevar was in the top 15. He dropped to 34th, so probably some penalty or something that puts him back. Find out from the booth when we get back. That does move Gregson back into the top 10. So his good day continues. The pit road seemed to be the biggest problem for the Toyotas. They had the top 4 spots before. Now they only have the top 2. Cycling Byron and Elliott forward. All right. And here we go. They haven't mentioned on the broadcast yet, but Coop, if any of the people that are doing that, they're gonna get taken down by YouTube eventually. It is illegal to do that. I can't do it. Trust me, I did it once when I was like 2 years ago, and it'll take you down. I think they're doing it some way like where it makes it harder for YouTube's like detection system to find it. Okay, it looks like they had a loose lug nut on the 5. He's got a decent amount of time, but he also didn't have tons of pace. So, I mean, he kind of got stuck in 11th. Anyways, here we go. Got another restart coming up. A lot of chaos potential here. Tyler Reddick on the outside, Denny Hamlin on the inside, Chase Elliott on the outside of row 2, William Byron on the inside. Two Toyotas trying to hold off two Chevrolets. Reddick really showed that long run pace on her last run. Here we go. Stage number 2. 125 laps the distance. The green flag back out. 70 laps down. Denny Hamlin with a great launch on the inside. Already clear of Reddick. And Gibbs down on the inside. He's trying to move back up to second spot after losing a few spots on pit road. Reddick's going to come down, almost chop the nose off the 24. They're 4 wide there. A few rows deep back in the pack. Still 3 wide here for third place. Elliott, it looks like he's going to clear that battle. Gibbs trying to hold on to the inside of Byron here. Keep that side draft alive. And Jones 3 wide with Briscoe and Gregson. He's trying to move back to the front after finishing 4th in stage 1. And now that Gibbs is in the pack, looks like Blaney continuing to move forward. I think Blaney's, my favorite to win at this point, Blaney or Reddick. That 12 car looks really strong even in traffic. Jones trying to move by Briscoe on the inside. Still hasn't cleared him. Keselowski with a good pit stop and a good restart. He's up to 7th now. Give an update. After a few laps, green flag. Larson is only up from 33rd to 28th, which is 5 spots. But, I mean, you know, with each passing lap, it's going to be harder and harder to pass cars. Gibbs and Byron still going at it for the 4th position. Byron's got the slight advantage with the high line. Gibbs just can't clear the 24 right now. All right. Hamlin's got a 0.2 of a second lead over Reddick, but Reddick is going to pass him here pretty quickly, I'd imagine. The 45 was considerably faster than the 11 as the run went on. And they are both pulling away, though, from Elliott once again, so it just doesn't seem like the Chevys are quite on that same pace level as the Toyotas, as Gibbs is going to clear the 24. Like, they're not per se slow. They're definitely going to have, like, kind of top 5, top 10 pace, but they don't have that race win pace. There's that gap there.
Stops. Hamlin was 0.3 faster coming in. The pit crew was a 2.5 faster.
All right. Further down the board, Jones holds on to the 10th spot over Bell, who's really kind of been a non-factor so far in the opening 75 laps, running in around the 10th to 15th position most of the day so far. Larson's up to 26th. Hocevar's only moved up 2 spots, now 3 spots to 31st. So yeah, track position is huge. You've taken 2 top 15 cars in there, almost top 10 cars, I should say, and they're struggling to move back forward. Oh, Bubba Wallace and Chastain getting together. Chastain got the wall a little bit there on a turn number 4.
I think Bubba thought he was going to come up the racetrack a little bit, and Ross was kind of squaring the exit of that corner off, and they just kind of...
Hamlin's got the 0.7 of a second advantage over Tyler Reddick. But we saw this before. Hamlin kind of had takeoff struggles early on. So, I don't know, maybe Hamlin's going to actually be able to pull away from Reddick here in this second stage.
What it does is it hurts my back.
And you got Elliott, Gibbs, Byron, the top 5, Blaney, Keselowski, Truex, Gregson, Bell, the top 10.
It's 50 feet shorter into turn 1.
And here we go. Truex battling with Keselowski. This is the 19 trying to get by the 6 car. So the 6 had good takeoff speed, but it doesn't look like he's got the same long run as the Toyotas. The 6 is going to have Gregson and Bell in his mirror pretty quickly. And they're going to cut to commercial break once again. Larson now up to the 24th spot. Hocevar still down in 31st. Citric's the only car out of the race, and Austin Dillon's 4 laps down with damage. I think lap traffic, honestly, could end up being the most entertaining part of this race. Now, if they decide to let the leaders go, then that'll obviously kind of neutralize that effect. But essentially, the leader doesn't have any dirty air to deal with. which will make it very hard to pass to him unless there's a lapped car in front of them. Gibbs is putting in fast laps. I'm trying to look at the leaderboard. Last time by, Denny Hamlin was the fastest car on the racetrack by about 0.2 of a second. That clean air probably being the biggest helper in that. But Hamlin actually faster than almost everybody by a good margin. Reddick was the second fastest car. And then behind that, the next fastest car on the racetrack was William Byron. Chase Elliott in third actually had the slowest lap time of anybody inside the top 8 last time around. Laps continuing to click off here. 230 to go now. 82 complete. There will be a pit stop here in stage number 2. Also, already about half a second, 0.6 of a second for fall off, and we're 10 laps into the run. And Larson will pick off another few spots. He's up to 22nd. Hocevar's up to 30th. Also, Bubba Walson's got by Ryan Preece. That's for 17th. McDowell, after running in the top 10 for most of stage 1, gaining a few stage points, he's dropped back to 15th. I think track position was kind of aiding him the most there at the start. I don't know if he's really got the long run pace. You know, Phoenix tends to be a very complacent, honestly, almost boring race. But you know what? Yesterday we saw in the Xfinity Series, big wreck. But besides that, Justin Allgaier looked dominant down the stretch. Then a flat tire with 5 to go while leading ended his day. So really, you never can be safe. You never have the win locked in until you see that checkered flag. That gap for Hamlin to Reddick has actually gotten to be the biggest we've seen over the leader any time so far today. That's up to 2 seconds now from first to second. 3.5 back to Elliott in third, then almost 4.5 to Gibbs in fourth. Christopher Bell's gotten by Noah Gragson. That's for 9th. And Jones, after losing that track position, he has not gone forward. He's kind of stuck in 11th. But like I said, this is kind of that point in the run where I don't expect to see too much passing because everybody's tires are slowly wearing now. It's once we've gotten to that almost maximum wear point of about 40 laps into the run, then we'll see who's really burned up their tires a lot and who hasn't.
So it was a combined road course and oval, and that transition to the outfield road course is what gives this track its unique shape that it retains today. It's by far the biggest dog leg we have. I mean, it's pretty
Hamlin growing that lead steadily now to 2.2 of a second over Reddick.
What the hell are they doing?
I think I said the exact same thing.
Toyota is just like really strong all around, man.
But also they have created the stadium feel here at Phoenix so that you can be right in the middle of things at the start-finish line. They've got a fan zone down off of pit road. They've got everything that you can imagine from a
Okay, so about back 5 cars in the field are about half a lap behind our leader, and we're now 25 laps into the run. So another 25 laps, hopefully lap traffic might spice things up here a little bit. Yeah, Chase Elliott having his strongest run so far this season. All right. I'm just going to check. I got to make my Fantasy League updates. If you're in the Fantasy League, might want to swap out your garage driver.
Yeah, and he's probably a little bit grumpy just from having to answer all those questions. And I think today it's just one of those days that they need. They need a good solid day from
I'm swapping Reddick in, and I'm dropping Hocevar. There we go.
They just need to have a good solid day. Now Kyle Larson currently in 20th place. Let's get an update from Rico. Like we saw the issues on the pit stop for Kyle Larson, and I can tell you, no real answers down here as to what took place. The pit crew for Hendrick just told me it's something he's never seen before. They could not get the wheel to tighten up onto the left rear of the car as they did it. Chad Knaus has been down here checking things out. Cliff Davis
All right.
everything with his team. A head scratcher, not exactly sure.
2.5 seconds now, the gap from first to second. Hamlin just continuing to grow that lead almost by 0.2 a lap. And that's just, I mean, the next fastest car on the racetrack I'm seeing, Christopher Bell's looking pretty fast in 8th as he's now gotten by Keselowski. He's running 25.7. Nobody else is even in the 28.7, not 25. 28.7s. Hamlin's in the 28.6s, and then everybody else is in the 28.8s or 9s or 29.1s. I think Ty Gibbs will be catching, Ty Gibbs or William Byron are going to be catching Chase Elliott for third here pretty soon. Because Ty Gibbs is actually getting caught by William Byron and Martin Truex Jr. Byron going to the inside of the 54 down the back straightaways. They're side by side. That's going to allow the 19 to slowly eke up on both of them. I would not rule out a move from Truex here into turn 1 this next time by. See if you can make it 3 wide. Biggest mover since the restart. Larson up 13, then LaJoy and Truex both up 7 a pop. Then Suarez and Hocevar up 4 spots. Larson's finally cracked the top 20. 24 still side drafted in the 54 pretty hard. Still not clear of him. As these guys battle, that's going to allow Ryan Blaney and Christopher Bell to get closer to him. We could have a 5-car battle for 4th place here pretty soon. 34 laps into this 125 lap second stage, so I'm going to imagine they're going to try and split this stage in 2, pitting right around the 60-65 lap marker. You might see some people try and short pit that. Maybe some are going to try and run it long. Hope for a caution. While the field is spread out, I wouldn't say it's that spread out. I mean, maybe the entire range of the field. Usually you see guys going a lap down pretty soon at Phoenix. But like we said, all of stage 1, nobody was a lap down unless they had damage. That's really a statement to the next-gen car and how close the field is. Yes, you still have guys that are typically at the back of the pack, or I should say cars that are typically at the back of the pack. But overall, the whole field has just gotten a lot tighter. Thanks to the next-gen car. Also, Bell's gotten by Blaney for 7th. That makes it 5 Toyotas inside of the top 7. The only outliers are the 2 Hendrick Chevys. And if Eric Jones can get into the top 10, that'll make it more than half of the top 10 is held by Toyotas.
Ally has savings buckets to help you save for anything you want to buy. Because everyone has something they're saving for.
So right now, the back of the field is Gralla, Harrison Burton, Kraus, and Haley. They are all, let's say, about 5 seconds away, 4 seconds away from going a lap down. Also, last time by, Reddick took a 2/10 of a second chunk out of Denny Hamlin's lead. The gap is now down to 1.8 seconds. Could we have just seen a flipping point in the run? Is that 45 car got that really long run pace that Hamlin doesn't have? Because it was almost 2.5 seconds a little while ago. Now it's down to 1.8.
This tax season you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get unlimited data. You get America's most reliable 5G network. You get a Samsung Galaxy A14.
What, Abigail?
And you are 2 doors down.
Okay. Anyways. Now, last time by, Hamlin pulled out once again by a little bit. Now 1.9 seconds. Now this next lap, 1.7 the gap. So it looks like Reddick a little bit faster than Hamlin as the run continues to go on. And lap traffic is continuing to get closer for the 11 car. Once again, pit road's going to be huge if you can have a good pit stop in terms of speed, but also if you can have a good pit stop without any penalties. Because a penalty under green, that's going to cost you a lap, which basically is going to completely take you out of contention. Anyways, Keselowski continuing to fade here on this long run. Looking at the lap times inside of our top 10, the slowest times are coming from Gragson, who is in the 10th position, so that kind of makes sense. Actually, I have to say Ty Gibson was the slowest last time by, and he is getting hounded by his teammate Martin Truex Jr. right now.
NASCAR on Fox is sponsored by Verizon Frontline, built for 5G, built for first responders, and by Wendy's Classic Hamburgers.
Yeah, now the gap from first to that lap traffic is down to about 2 seconds. And we are into that 30, 40 lap point in the run. Right about when we said about 40, 45, 50 laps is when we'll see that lap traffic based off my estimations from that opening run in the race.
I think they know if they're going to win a championship, they had to get better here. We see all those pictures of championship trophies being held up, and Denny's not one of them.
Truex is right on Gibbs' bumper right now. He is side by side with him. Out of turn number 4, that 19, though, can't remain side by side down the straightaway, so unable to side draft him. Gonna have to set up another pass opportunity here in turns 1 and 2. Christopher Bell's also entering the picture there. 3 Toyota teammates battling for 5th through 7th. And Truex has gotten by Gibbs, so give that 5th spot to the 19, and now Bell looks like he's also going to make quick work of the 2054. So that long run speed is really lacking for Ty Gibbs, it looks like. I had mentioned that in stage 1 that clean air might be helping him, and it definitely seems that's the case. So hopefully they'll be able to make some adjustments to get him going in the right direction here during his first green flag stop of the day. That'll be coming up, I imagine, about 15 laps. So still got to hold on for a bit. Blaney, Keselowski, Gragson still round out your top 10. 3 Fords there. I will say, when Hamlin catches lap traffic, it is fairly congested. Those first 5 cars he's going to catch are all within about a second of each other, so that could definitely bog him down.
Eric Jones lost a bunch of spots in the pits, as Jamie documented, trying to work his way back.
Larson's got by Ryan Preece for 19th.
Restarted 8th, currently 11th.
I know you know, Corelli, but let's not put this one either. And a plan to get by him. Remember, we'll build long speed here, and then obviously...
Okay, the gap down to 1.75 seconds from first to second. But it's a big gap to Elliott in third. I did not realize it's 6 seconds to the 9 car, who's actually getting caught by his teammate William Byron right now.
Look at the difference that clean air made in this car in particular. He gets Byron back there in traffic, and he's actually lost ground.
Well, that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, pit stops is really going to be the thing I'm waiting for the most right now. Just if you get stuck on pit road with a bad stop or a penalty, that'll be where we see a big shakeup. Or even if it's just, small things like a slight hang up or just a good pit stop, a second or two can buy you a lot in a race like this.
I would agree with you.
Long green flag run here. When we come back, we'll check with Larry and see when we can expect green flag pit stops.
And yes, your leaders have started lapping those first 2 cars, and already the lead has dropped by 0.2 of a second. We'll see if that continues to go down. And yeah, Gibbs is really struggling right now, throwing down the slowest times inside the top 10. Gonna get caught by Ryan Blaney here pretty soon. He's looking forward to that first pit stop. While Larson is slightly recovered, obviously a long way to go, he's up to 19th. Hocevar, man, he's only gained a few spots. He's up to 29th, and he is going to go lap down here pretty soon. Unless he gets bailed out by a caution. That's where it's like those slight mistakes, they actually didn't even get a penalty. They just made a mistake on pit road, having to go back and tighten their lug nuts. Huge in terms of what it cost them. Yeah, that gap now down to 1.2 seconds between Hamlin and Reddick. And it's not just Reddick running fast laps. Hamlin's lap times, he ran a 29.23 last time by, and only about half the guys inside the top 10 were about a 10th faster than that. And once again, Reddick makes up about a 10th on him. Now it's down to 1.1 seconds. Reddick's also now probably encountering a little bit of that lap traffic, so that could also be slowing him down. But that, it's always going to be hardest when you're the first guy catching the lappers, no matter what.
Don't take if you're allergic to Sotyktu. Serious reactions can occur. Sotyktu can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB. Serious infections, cancers including lymphoma, muscle problems, and changes in certain labs have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, liver, or kidney.
And yeah, the cars are going to lap down right now. Chaos, Grawl, Harrison Burton, Derek Kraus have all lost a lap. The next cars to go lap down are Hemrick, Haley, and Hocevar. Still looking forward to those green flag pit stops that'll be coming up here pretty shortly. I'd imagine about 10 laps. Definitely under this next stretch of TV coverage, currently on commercial though right now.
Bro, this is about to be for me. You've come a long way together.
The gap now stabilizing about 1.2 seconds from Hamlin to Reddick. But still, that shrunk it by almost a second dealing with that lap traffic there. And Byron continues to close on Elliott. It's only 2/10 between the 9 and the 24. And Bell is behind them, and he is just about the same. He's actually faster than both of them. Truex in 6th, Gibbs in 7th, and Blaney, Keselowski, Gregson, your top 10.
Watching Denny Hamlin lead from our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, powering every lap, every mile, and every victory on the road ahead. Goodyear, more driven. Hamlin has a 1.2-second lead.
Yeah, so pit stops are going to be coming in about, I'd say, 10 laps, if you split this stage in half.
Yeah, Mike, we went back racing at lap 69, which is 116 laps.
Now Hamlin's now just putting Hemrick a lap down.
58 laps run, but what we've been seeing this year when they've been split
Having to run that high line to get clean air on the nose.
and halfway, I'm going to say in the next 8 to 10 laps, you're going to see green flag pit stops. Remember, like Las Vegas.
Chase Briscoe, Michael McDowell battling for 15th. That's a 34 trying to pass the 14, I'm pretty sure.
I think one of those cars that'll be coming will be these guys fixing to go a lap down. Big names, Kyle Busch, some of those guys are going to be looking to do something different.
And McDowell to the inside of the 14.
What's the biggest challenge of this pit road for a driver?
And looks like he's going to have that pass made off of turn number 2. And Buescher's also looking to get by the 14 here. Actually, I spoke too soon. The 14's still looking for the crossover. And Blaney's the first of the leaders to hit pit road. He was running in 8th position. And he's going to bring Chastain and Larson with him. So this is maybe a little earlier than I thought, but definitely within the window. And now that's going to bring a bunch of leaders. Truex, Bell, Byron, Keselowski all hit pit road. I'd imagine your leaders are all going to have to stop within the next 2-3 laps. You just don't want to give up laps to those guys on fresh tires. When you're on fresh tires, you're going to be about almost a second quicker than the leaders. More than a second quicker, I should say, than the leaders. So you can make up a lot of time coming a lap or two earlier. Yes, you'll have to pay for it later on in the run, but with the way you can defend here, I think it's definitely worth the risk. The real question will be, are we going to see any penalties rolling in here? Elliott and Byron are into pit now. Just still Hamlin, Reddick, Suarez, McDowell, and only a handful of others yet to make their pit stop.
Kyle Larson made a 4-tire change that was incident-free. No further problems on that left rear. See Denny Hamlin, your leader, still on that racetrack.
But Denny Hamlin had a gap.
And Ty Gibbs has actually made some contact with the wall at some point. You see some blue on the right rear fender. And Reddick's into pit. Hamlin's still running some laps. We'll see if this short pit's able to work for the 45. Hamlin's going to run Hamlin's into pit as well. So Hamlin's going to try and cover as soon as he can, but the 45 is going to come one lap quicker. Gilliland, Busch, Stenhouse, Hocevar are some of the only cars yet to pit. Oh, Suarez comes out of his stall. That's going to cost Hamlin just a little bit of time. The number 1 pit stall will probably make up for it, though. And the 11's going to fire off, get out of pit road. Now, where does he merge relative to Tyler Reddick, who's coming up alongside him pretty soon? Hamlin's into turn 1. Behind the 4 of Josh Berry, who's probably going to fight him pretty hard because that is essentially his spot on the lead lap. Todd Gillen currently running some laps, adding to his laps led total on the season. So, yeah, Gillen, Busch, Hocevar, Kraus, the 5 cars yet to pit. And Zane Smith and Josh Berry are 2-lapped cars between the 45 and the 11. Yeah, that gap definitely shrunk another few tenths there. Now we'll see if either car made an adjustment that's going to be enough to allow, Reddick to pass by. Byron was able to get Elliott, though, through the pit stop cycle. Bell got by Truex and Gibbs through the pit stop cycle. I'm trying to see any big losers through that. Ty Gibbs lost a few more spots. He got passed by Keselowski, Gregson, and Bowman. So Gibbs actually is going to be holding on to what will become the 10th position when we once this all cycles through. Those top 5 can run, I think, almost at least like 10 more laps, I'm pretty sure. They're actually going to mention now on the broadcast. Okay, actually, they can run 40 more laps. So they can actually go for quite some time here. So this gamble by the top, well, what it was the top 4, but these 5 cars staying out, really there's not a ton to lose. Hocevar on the bumper of Stenhouse for kind of 3rd place. They are on the same strategy, so this is worth the position. Meanwhile, I think that's Kyle Busch pitting ahead of them. Yes, it is. So Kyle Busch will come to pit from 2nd. Hoping to run long now, so that way his tire is a little better late in the run.
They changed both tire changers and the jack band, promoting a 3 from the Xfinity series that still uses the...
Bell's now gotten by, or he's trying to get by Chase Elliott. That's for the 4th position once this all cycles around. And Reddick's looking to get by Hamlin for the lead. Reddick to the inside. They've got Hocevar right in front of him. That's 4th position. Where's Hocevar going to go? He's going to go low. Oh, that's going to hurt the 45. That's going to leave Hamlin able to fight another day. Oh, that really hurt Reddick right there. Now Reddick, I think, is going to get stuck behind the 11 again in turns 1 and 2. And Reddick will cut to the inside of Stenhouse. Now they're going to navigate those few cars. That is 4th position. But, ooh, boy. Man, Reddick almost had him for the lead. Now he's going to have to wait and build up a whole nother run again. Jefferson, no caution. Who are you wanting right now? Or maybe that chat came in a little while ago. I must have missed that. Trying to see if Larson gained any spots through that cycle. I think he gained 2 or 3. There's still 1, 2, 3, 4 cars that got a pit. Oh boy. Kyle Busch racing pretty aggressively there with Christopher Bell and Chase Elliott. Bell to the inside of the 9. 8 on the inside of him. This is a really big battling here because Kyle Busch is trying to get a lap back. Meanwhile, the 20 is trying to get the 9 for position. Oh, boy. I thought the 20 almost chopped himself down on the nose of the 8. The 20 trying to keep that side draft on the 9. He'll just cling on to it. And the 20 is going to clear the 9. Now move Bell up into what will become the 4th position. And Truex is not too far behind. Elliott's starting to fade a little bit here as the day goes on. 70 laps complete here in Stage 2. 55 to go. Thanks to everybody watching. Appreciate it if you drop a like and subscribe. Okay.
9 seconds to a 10-second stop is, it seems like a catastrophe once you come back out on the
At 1.5 seconds gap from Gillen to Hamlin. Now Gillen still has to pit,
that they made like they did right there and fix the problem.
but he can run another about 30 laps.
Now close to within 1.25 seconds of Todd Gilliland. There's
And Derek Kraus will hit pit road.
who has not yet made his green flag stop. He was last in the pits, lap 65 at the end of stage 1.
Todd Gillen had a great first couple weeks of the season. Had some
And Reddick once again is closed in on the 11.
car's not quite where it needs to be today, so they're just trying a strategy.
Once again, though, they're going to come up on Todd Gillen, and Hamlin might be able to use that 38 as a pick, or it could work against him, depending on if he chooses the line wrong.
And already Front Row Motorsports, Gilliland and McDowell have led more laps than Front Row has ever led in a season before. Man, this battle for the lead.
Oh, Reddick's almost on the quarter panel of 11. Can't quite get there in turns 1 and 2. Now into 3 and 4. Reddick will go low, but he might get a little bit of dirty air off the 38 ahead of him. Oh, here we go. The 45 is going to be alongside the 11 again, but we're going to get to another lapped car. And just who's going to pick right here? Reddick's definitely got the pace advantage on the 11 at this point. I think Reddick might be able to clear Hamlin before he even gets to the 38, and he will. So now Reddick's going to have the advantage in terms of which line he wants when going around the 38 here. Now is the 38 going to go low or is he going to go high? The 38 will go low. Hamlin will go low, but he's going to have to eat the dirty air of the 38. And also now Elliott's gotten passed by Truex, and meanwhile Reddick will pass Gillen for the lead, bringing Hamlin through with him. And Elliott looks like he's going to lose another spot to Ryan Blaney here pretty soon. That 9 car is struggling this time around.
Yeah, he came out a little bit too late in the runs before, so it's you're probably right, trying to make that car take off a little bit better.
So now it's Reddick, Hamlin, Gillen, Byron, Bell, your top 5. Stenhouse, Hocevar, Truex, Elliott, and Blaney, the top 10. But still a lot of those guys are going to have to make a pit stop, and that'll cycle things around. But now that Reddick is the leader, the true gauge of where the first car 1 lap down is Josh Berry in 27th. The next car to go a lap down is John Hunter Nemechek, but that's about 4 or 5 seconds up the racetrack from your leaders. So Reddick's got a bit of clean racetrack for a little while. Gibbs continuing to have to try and stop the bleeding. So on this run, it seems the 54 and the 9 are the ones falling off. Also, I think Chase Briscoe had a somewhat bad pit stop, or no, I think he just got passed by Larson through the cycle. And already Reddick's grown that lead up to 0.8 of a second over Hamlin. I think the 45 might put on a clinic here in this final stage. If he does not have a bad pit stop, if his pit crew doesn't let him down again, then this might be Reddick's night. Hey, thanks for everybody watching. And I think we got a subscriber there at one point. I appreciate up to 3,520. Yeah, guys, so we'll try and I'll let you know a little bit more about what the stream's going to look like next week. This background is a little dull, I'm not going to lie, but hopefully we'll be back in the room next week, or a better room that I know more about beforehand and kind of get looking a little better for you guys, and just I don't have my mic obviously in this setup. But does the audio seem okay relative to other streams? If there's anybody that's been in here that's the usual viewer. And last time by, Reddick and Hamlin just about even in terms of lap time. And Byron's about 5.5 seconds back and forth, so he's made up a little time through pit stops, but I mean 5 seconds, he's not making up that ground. He might get passed by Christopher Bell though, and we were going to have 3 Toyotas in the top 3. The Toyotas are just so strong, man. Yikes. Yeah, I am scared for Phoenix right now. If I'm not a Toyota fan, I am scared for Phoenix. So still to pit, Gilliland and Hocevar. I think some of those guys might have finally made their stops. I'm looking. I think Hocevar stopped, so still just, I think, Gilliland and Stenhouse at this point now.
Let's go places. Well, a couple great moments from Phoenix right there. Alan Kowicki's
Nemechek, the first Toyota to go a lap down today, is the last car currently on the lead lap. He's still about 3.5 seconds ahead of the leaders, and his lap times are about 0.3 slower than the leaders, so that looks like, doing quick math in my head, still another 10 laps or so till he's caught. Ahead of him, though, is LaJoy. Then Logano, who has shown no pace today whatsoever, didn't qualify well, hasn't really moved forward. Blaney's been the only Penske with real pace, and honestly, the only Ford that has looked that strong. Noah Gregson's looked pretty good today, been in the top 10. Keselowski's made a few nice, been in the right place at the right time to move up into ninth.
I feel like I learn something every week from you, Mike.
You know what I like? That era. Those cars were so cool. Fan base was awesome.
If anybody has any comments in the chat, any questions for me about NASCAR-related stuff or whatever, feel free to ask away. 9/10 currently the distance between your top two. Closing in on the halfway point in this race, and meanwhile, just 42 to go in stage 2.
Once Todd Gilliland makes his stop, Bell will be up there in the top 3. He's closing little by little.
Well, he's going to have some track position now. When they make this next pit stop, he's going to be up there.
Reddick currently up by 0.9 of a second. I just said that. Yeah, this is typical Phoenix racing we're seeing right now. I would do anything to not have the championship here. Quite literally anything. Even if it was at like Texas, or just honestly, I don't even care if it was at Talladega at this point. This race, okay, that's an overstatement. But the racing here is just abysmal. Oh, abysmal! Like how do we choose Phoenix when we have tracks like Kansas, Charlotte, and Homestead on the schedule, man? Like I just don't understand. From a 1.5 mile standpoint, this race as a spectator to me is just brutal year in and year out. I can't remember a single Phoenix race in my lifetime, or well, I should say my lifetime as a viewer, and that's like 2018 post. That was like just flat out entertaining, finish to finish, or even mildly entertaining. I mean, you had the 1 year when Alex Bowman was in there and he wrecked it up with Matt Kenseth at the finish, but I mean, that's a wreck, so it wasn't even really like, competitive, battles for the lead back and forth. I mean, you had the next gen win with Briscoe, but I mean, once again, that just came down to a late race restart.
What did we do wrong fundamentally to make the car better? So definitely interesting that one of Joey's better races.
And Briscoe, speaking of him today, I mean, this is supposed to be a track that he would do well at, and he's currently down in 20th, just not even in the picture for Stewart-Haas. It's really Gregson carrying the banner today. Then, I believe Priest is 1 lap down. Or no, Priest still on the lead lap in 22nd, but Josh Berry currently the first car 1 lap down. Nemechek in 25th, 26.5 seconds back off the lead.
Let off that brake pedal, and when he gets all the way off the brake pedal, he just squeezes that throttle down on the right to try to wait for the car to turn and drive it back off the corner when he feels like that the tires are gripped up.
Thanks for everybody tuning in.
Release of the brake down here, turns 1 and 2.
Bowman having himself quietly a good day. He's going to be in the top 10 once these guys that are trying to run long decide to pit. And also, Bell has gotten by Byron. I totally missed that. And he's actually running, I believe, some of the fastest laps on the track. He is. Bell, currently the fastest car out there. With 37 to go, I don't think he's going to catch Reddick. He could catch Hamlin if Hamlin falls off here, considering he's 4 seconds behind him. I think Blaney could pass Elliott. But outside of that, I don't really see many other positions up for grabs inside the top 10. So yeah, once Gilliland pits, that'll bump Bowman into the top 10, so you would have that final stage point over Ty Gibbs.
Just being locked at the bottom is not what the guys are doing up front. Jamie?
I mean, yeah, right now, it just looks like there's nowhere to go. Simple as that. But yeah, once your leaders catch lap traffic, it should be Nemechek, LaJoy, Logano, pretty steady feed of lapped cars. Until you get up to around Bubba Wallace, or not really Bubba Wallace, once you get up to Chase Briscoe in 20th, then there'll be a bit of a bigger gap to Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson. But I actually don't think we'll even get that far considering there's only 35 laps to go in the stage.
Because of the new short track package, NASCAR, instead of having 20 minutes of practice for each car on Saturday before qualifying.
And Blaney about 2 car lengths behind Elliott right now. That could be the battle for 7th heating up. And Bell is definitely making inroads. The gap was 5 seconds between him to Reddick a little while ago. Now it's down to 4.6. Hamlin Bell is just mowing him down. I'm looking at the leaderboard as we're under commercial. Now, last time by, he was almost 0.4 of a second faster than Tyler Reddick. And that's only going to get even bigger in terms of the ground he's making up as Reddick starts to catch those first cars to put a lap down. And he's also having to deal with more lap traffic to put 2 laps down now. Hemrick, Gralla, Kraus, all now 2 laps down. Are going to be 2 laps down soon.
Ozempic isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't share needles or pens or reuse needles. Don't take Ozempic if you or your family ever had medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple...
Once again, 0.3 faster last time by for Bell. I didn't think he was going to catch him before the end of the stage, but at this rate, he's going to catch him in about 15 laps. Yeah, the gap's now 3.5 seconds between him and Reddick. He's running 28.8s. And I don't even, there's nobody else on the racetrack even running a sub 29 lap time. Man. Yeah, as a driver though, I feel like this race would be brutal, man. Like, you're just coasting almost. Like, it feels like no matter what anybody's doing, they're going to be able to catch anyone. Yeah, Crazy 38 hasn't pitted. Yeah, well, he can run until I think about 20 to go in the stage. So that's still another 15 laps. The fuel window for these cars is 100 laps. The thing is just the way the stages are set up being 125, you obviously can't stretch it. And since, the further you go, the worse the tire wear is going to be. It's better to just, split it in half in theory. 38 was just kind of hoping for a caution because they're further back anyways. And, I mean, if they do pit, occasionally you can see people run long. And due to the fact that the other guy's tires have fallen off so much, they're going to be about a second a lap faster. So he, I think in the best case scenario, is able to unlap himself, but I don't think he's going to be able to even do that. And the gap's now under 3 seconds from Bell to Reddick. And Hamlin's making up ground on Reddick as well. He's picked up 2/10 on him last time by. And that's probably because your leaders caught John Nemechek to put him a lap down. Then after that, there is a little bit of a gap to Corey LaJoie and Joey Logano. But still, like I said, lap traffic is really the only thing you can hope for if you're chasing the leader. Because the leader's got clean air, which is superior, and the only way that can be dirtied is by a lap car.
Uncle Phil and his wife say Panama, that's her pub.
8/10 the gap. Now 7/10 the gap.
He's rented pretty much all of this, but that guy right there, Uncle Phil, he is the guy that you need to know. Fun being had right there. The camper area is huge here, and they open it up on Monday. Folks are
Oh my goodness. Oh, they're just showing this massive camper setup they've got set up on the back straightaway. Some guy's renting out quite a few lots. He's got like almost a whole patio set up there. Here we go. Oh, Blaney trying to get by Elliott, and Elliott contacts him a little bit through the dogleg and into turn 3. The 12's been faster than the 9 for quite some time here, and I think he'll finally clear him. But as they battle, that's allowing the 6 to close in on both of them. And the 12's been stuck in the dirty air behind the 38 of Todd Gillen, but now the 38 will drop low, and that'll hurt the 9. And I think Blaney's going to finally clear him now. And now Blaney's gotten up to the 7th position, and he'll pass Gillen, and that'll give him 6th. Yeah, Keselowski and Gregson entering this picture. Elliott's going to lose a few more spots before the end of the stage, I think. And Bell now only 2 seconds behind Tyler Reddick. He is just mowing him down. I did not think he could make up 5 seconds, but I mean, it looks like he's going to be able to do that handily. He's chopped off 3 seconds in the last 10 laps. Yeah, rub him up just a little bit.
Brake really quick and back to the gas really quick. And Pittman is smoother than that. Thinner but smoother.
And now Elliott, I think he's going to lose the spot to Keselowski, Gregson, but then there's quite a bit of gap on the racetrack to his teammate Bowman.
On the same team, they want to have the information to know where they're getting beat. And up on the pit box, everybody has S&T.
And the gap down to 1.5 seconds now between Reddick and Bell.
What their lap times are.
24 to go in stage 2. Yeah, Nemechek's now gone a lap down. The next car for your leader to catch is Corey LaJoie, like I had mentioned.
And here's where we're getting beat, and this is why. So that's good information to have. It'll help Denny try to decide where he wants to be on the racetrack and what to think about before the next pit stop.
That's what I wanted you to say.
Gillen's the only car that is yet to pit currently, though, in this stage. Still running it along, just, I think, praying for a caution at this point. Praying it's not him that's the caution at this point. And no, Gregson's going to use that high line as the 6 is stuck in the dirty air behind the 38. And Gregson's going to get by the 6 and the 38 as Todd Gillen's going to actually finally pull down to make his pit stop with 22 laps to go. Oh, it looks like the 6 and the 10 shared a little bit of a kiss there off of turn 4, rubbing doors a little bit. Now we'll see where the 38 finishes the stage. I'm interested to see how bad this strategy works out for them. Larson's gotten by Chastain. That's for 15th. Something there. Reddick's got side-by-side lap cars ahead of him. LaJoie and the 15. This could really slow him down for a lap. Oh, 45's got to go way high. Try and get to the outside of the 15. Hamlin is about 7/10 back. And Bell is 1.2 seconds back. Yeah, this top 3 could have a great battle here as the 7's just ahead of your leader and the 22. I mean, this pretty solid lap traffic for the rest of the stage for your leaders.
And at this point of the run, this is when the cars just start to get ill. The brakes are hot, the front tires are hot, the back's sliding around.
Biggest mover since the restart to restart the stage. Larson's up 18. LaJoie, Hocevar, Bell, and Truex all up 8 spots.
The cars become extremely hard to drive at this point during the run and have to be able
And Hamlin's trying to work his way by the 15. That's a lap car. And as Hamlin's stuck behind this lap car, Reddick's starting to grow a little bit of a cushion again. Now it's back up to 1.2 seconds.
Hey, look at this. What? Saved nearly $750. With that kind of money, we could
Also, Chris Buescher's gotten by Alex Bowman. That's for the final stage point.
actually fly. Sit back, relax.
Reddick's going to be side by side with LaJoie down the back straightaway. Actually, no, he won't be.
Yes, I will.
Or he hold on to it. Hold on to it.
Just keep it real. Do people still say that?
But as he's getting pinched here a little bit through turns 3 and 4, that's going to allow Hamlin to close back in again. And he still won't clear him here off turn 4 with 16 to go in the stage now. Hamlin and Bell are loving this. I think he'll get him this time through turns 1 and 2. I think the real challenge for Bell is going to be passing Denny Hamlin, which he's almost going to try and do here through down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. Can he get to the inside of the 11? And is there a lap car giving him either one of them dirty air? Off of 4. Oh, the 20's got it. He's got it with ease. Oh, I spoke slightly too soon. The 11's going to side draft a bit, but I think the 20 will get him this time through 1 and 2. 20 down low, grabbing that yellow line, and he will slide up, and he's got second place, and he is only 9/10 of a second off of our leader, Tyler Reddick.
Every day, every craving. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Now with 15 to go in the stage, it looks like Reddick has now put LaJoie lap down. Has he gotten Logano yet? No, he hasn't. He'll have Logano, Priest, and then he might catch McDowell before the end of the stage. But I'd say that's unlikely. Now, as these guys have battled, that's allow Byron to make up a little bit of ground on him, but I mean, he's 6 seconds back, and I had said 6 seconds was too much before, but I think now that is too much for Byron to pick up in the amount of time left in the stage.
Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150. Tough this smart can only be called.
Yeah, currently Reddick now stuck behind Logano, looking for a way by that 22 Hunt Brothers car. Trying to go to the inside down the front straightaway.
Bristol, Tennessee. Concrete. Back on the home race. 3 Eastern.
Gotta stay loose.
3:30 next Sunday on Fox.
Reddick all the way down below the yellow line through 3 and 4, or 1 and 2. Once again, get those turns backwards. Can he get that side draft here down the front stretch? That'll make a huge difference for him, but he can totally see that 20 car in his rear view now. Christopher Bell is there with 12 laps to go in Stage 2. In Stage 1, it was Ty Gibbs getting caught by Christopher Bell. Now in Stage 2, it's Tyler Reddick. Oh, did I say Christopher Bell again? In Stage 1, it was Ty Gibbs getting caught by Tyler Reddick. In Stage 2, it's Tyler Reddick getting caught by Christopher Bell. Logano's still getting held up by the 22. Now the 3 car, an even slower car, he's just ahead of your leaders. The 22 is going to be trying to dodge him, but here we go. A big dive, a big lunge from the 20 to get alongside the 45. 45 is much more of a drive off, and he'll go back into the lead, but the 20 just let him know he was there in a big way. 11 to go. And it looks like the 3 is going to just go high and kind of get out of the way for the leaders here. Oh, Reddick's down low. Reddick is going to the inside of Logano. I almost thought that the Reddick was Bell for a second. They both got those black and white and red base schemes. And it looks like Logano's finally going to be able to let Reddick go by with 10 to go in Stage 2. Now Bell's got to make quick work of the 22 if he wants to try and chase down Reddick for the stage win. A tiny bit of clean racetrack for Reddick before he gets to Priest. After Priest, I don't think he'll catch anyone before the stage ends. And Bell is stuck behind Logano right now. Ty Gibbs now fading again on this run. He's gotten passed by Jones, and he's going to get passed by Kyle Larson here pretty soon. Oh, as I say that, Larson to the inside of Gibbs, down the back straightaway, and he'll take that spot. That's 14th, so it's taken him basically all of Stage 2 to recover to where he was before this previous stage ended, and he had that issue on pit road. Chastain also going by Gibbs now. It's going to drop him to 16th. Now Bell's got to find a way by your leader. It's one thing to catch him, it's another thing to pass him. Gibbs and Chastain making a little bit of contact there off of turn 4.
6 to go in the stage. We've only had 1 caution for cause today, other than the stage break, and it was the Derek Kraus spin on lap 6 that took Austin Cindric out of the race.
Buescher currently holds on to that final stage point comfortably over Alex Bowman. Now Bubba Wallace is going by Ty Gibbs. Man, if we had another like 10 laps, 15 laps in this stage, I think Ty Gibbs would go a lap down easily. And he still even has a chance of doing that in this stage. He's only about 3.5 seconds ahead of our leaders with 5 to go. Priest might hold him up enough. Here we go, Bell to the inside of Reddick. Oh, and Bell might be able to just slide up and clear him here off of 2. He's going to try. Reddick's going to go for the crossover. Oh, but he'll get a little loose behind him. I think Bell's got it here. Bell's got it. 4 laps to go, and Christopher Bell takes the lead here in stage number 2. Bell's looking really strong right now.
This car has just gotten better.
Also, Bowman and Suarez battling for that 11th position.
Adjusting on it with air pressure. And another note, all four of these Gibbs cars came with completely different setups. They said it's the most different they've ever been at a track. Just see
Bell going to try and get around Priest, but one more car lap down and just one more you don't have to worry about. Logano does not want to see that happen because then he loses that free pass position. And Bell, is he going to be able to clear Priest here? Yes, he will off of turn number 2. Luckily for Priest, I don't think Bell's going to catch any more lap traffic before the end of the stage.
At the front of the racetrack. He's not racing the 11 car right now. He's racing that 20. So they're definitely going to have to do something different. And Christopher Bell's good on the whole run all the way through the end. So they might have to rethink and maybe.
And 2 laps to go now for Tyler Reddick. This stage, or I should say Christopher Bell. You know, I think at this point I'm putting my money on Bell. He's just driven through the whole field. I think made more passes than anybody we've seen really in this stage to get out front. We haven't seen anybody just kind of go out there and make it pass look that easy for the lead. Reddick was able to pass Hamlin for the lead, but those are only 2 passes for the lead made under green so far today. Oh, Reddick almost lost it there on the inside of Priest there. I think that's one of those where you just got to realize you got to let it go. Live to fight another day. And McDowell's just ahead of Bell here. I don't think Bell's going to catch him to put him lap down just quite. And McDowell should be safe here. He will be, but Christopher Bell picks up the stage 2 win. Reddick comes home second yet again. And then it's Hamlin, Byron, Truex, Delaney, Elliott, Gregson, Keselowski, and Buescher. So great run from Gregson, scoring 2 points, or scoring points in both stages today.
The Barn Bar. The county's best hangout. Just got better. Here's to living smooth. With the always smooth, easy drinking Keystone Light.
Here at Papa John's, we know our stuff. So try our garlic epic stuffed crust pizza.
Oh, oops.
Flavor, mixed with cheese and hand stuffed into that Papa John's original dough.
Thanks everybody tuning in so far today.
Like Papa John's.
Tips off Wednesday on FS1.
Just checking the fantasy right now.
For you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on Paul. You don't want to ride with Paul or Sarah, not today anyway. And you don't want to rate based on Ben. He's got some important business to take care of. Based on anyone else. With Allstate, you're connected to a rate based on you. Call 1-888-ALLSTATE for a quote today.
FanDuel Casino has your chance at the #1 feeling.
Just checking the fantasy real quick.
And any other feeling higher than number 30. Saying, I told you so.
Okay. And thanks everybody tuning in right now. Hopefully this final stage provides us with a little bit more action. But yeah, I mean, really, the note on the day so far is Toyota dominance. And I mean, like, just wiping the field dominance, really. It's been slightly hard to watch at times, but I mean, this is what I expect from Phoenix. Like, just how are we not? I don't understand how this is still our championship race. It's just so boring. Like, we see a few comers and goers, like Bell able to go up there and get the lead, but just it just feels frustrating to watch because there's almost no on-track battling for position once you get more than 5-10 laps into a run.
Weeknights on Pittsburgh's Fox 53.
Pit stops coming up at the end of stage 2 here in Phoenix. Kenny Hamlin with that #1 pit stall. Let's see if anybody can beat him.
And yeah, that pit stall for Hamlin, I think that's going to leapfrog him from third to the lead yet again. You're just able to cut so much of pit road with that inside, that first pit box. Even if you're like in the second pit box, man, like you just can cut so much of that racetrack off.
Madison Square Garden, conference crown at stake, and it tips off Wednesday on Fox and FS1.
Now, some guys that made errors under the last pit stop at stage 1. Kyle Larson, Carson Osavar. Don't want to do that again. Ty Gibbs has had a few issues on pit road, costing him some ground, as well as Eric Jones. Let's check your leaders. Tyler Reddick, he made a few critical errors on pit road last weekend.
Well, I'm of the opinion that the distance from the end of the first stall to the white line,
Reddick, Hamlin, Byron, Elliott, and Bell, the big points getters in today's stages.
So that'd be something that I would like to see. And what we've got right here is as we see this picture, this white line right here. That's the only thing that Denny has to do is get his nose of his car to that line, and that's
all right.
So,
Pit road speed is a yellow line, but that is the scoring time.
And we continue on. So
yeah, we see the stats of just
laps continuing to wind down. Here we are past the halfway point. So 190 complete this next time by, 120 to go. So really this final stage is almost the same as stage 2. So just going to probably see the same strategy calls made here.
yeah, I'd like to see that line be consistent from the end of that first pit stall. So it's the same every week. So it's not a one race advantage, especially since we decided the championship here.
Think back to the championship, Kyle Larson having that stall beat him out and won the championship. And that distance should be long enough so that no one pit stall has a huge advantage.
And here we go. Pit road's open. Ryan Preece will be the free pass.
Lead lap cars can pit. Jamie.
Bell leads him down now. Pit road's going to be a lot less crowded this time. Only 19 on here instead of, or 20 on here instead of 34 like last time.
Pressure adjustment here, just 4 tires. The 19 of Martin Truex Jr. needs more lateral rear grip. A small adjustment for him. Regan.
Looks like the 20 cars pit stop was pretty clean.
Told his team on this run he's losing rear lateral grip more so now than before. The team reminded him that was the longest run and it was a green flag.
And now the 45. Let's see how his stop goes. That looks pretty clean. The 11, though, with that number 1 pit stall. What are they going to be able to do for him? The stop for the 11's looking good so far. They're going to drop. Oh, he's going to do it again easily. Even Byron in the second stall, like I said, up a spot. I don't know what they can do to change that, but I actually think that needs to be changed. I mean, that is such a huge advantage. I mean, we can look at the pit stop times as well, because Hamlin's crew also might be really good. But I mean, it's buying him like 2 seconds, which, he's going from 3rd to the lead with ease. He could probably go from 5th to the lead with ease. I think that honestly should be changed in somehow, some way. That's quite too valuable. Like, I know you want to get rewarded for that first pit stall being that pole position. That's just crazy. Like, if we have a late race caution and Hamlin's in the top 4, I know he's going to the lead. So I would honestly almost put my money on him to hold him off. Besides him, though, it's Hamlin, Reddick, Byron, Elliott. Also, Bell, I think, had a bad stop. I didn't even notice that. I got so caught up in the battle for the lead off pit road. Bell from 1st to 10th. Oh. I mean, obviously you can do that because you came from even further back to get to the lead under the last run. But, ooh, gut punch. Larson also, once again, just a rough stop on pit road. Drops him from 14th to 18th. Yeah, dang. Other than that, not a ton of jostling. Yeah, the big losers are Bell and Larson that I see. Jones once again lost a few spots, I should say. Briscoe picked up quite a few. But yeah, really just Hamlin leapfrogging 3rd to 1st. That's massive. Byron picked up 1 to get to 3rd. Now it's 2 Toyotas with 2 Chevrolets behind him, then a Ford and Toyota, then 2 Fords, a Chevy, and a Toyota, your top 10. At this point, I don't know. I want to say Bell for the win. But with coming from 10th, I don't know. Hopefully we'll see some more. I don't say hopefully like we see Rex, but hopefully we see some more action in this stage. I'm going to say Reddick at this point. I think he gets it. I think he's hungry after last week, and I think he gets it. I think Bell's going to be close, but it's just not going to be there. But I will say I'm going to be shocked if it's not Toyota that wins this race. Blaney's maybe a sleeper, slowly working his way forward now in 5th, but we'll see.
So strong today, winning both stage 1 and stage 2. They have led all but 14 laps at Phoenix Raceway in this race today. Jamie and Shannon, let's get you caught up. Ty Gibbs started on that front row, and he was out front early, Jamie.
Yeah, Shannon led the first 57 laps of the race, took command of the race. Looked to be...
Yeah, Ty Gibbs, I think I kind of jinxed him, saying this looked like a great day for his first career win. Because he's kind of been irrelevant since stage 1. He's just faded further and further back. Was close going to lap down under that last stage, and if things don't improve for him here, I think he could very likely go a lap down in the second stage.
At the end of stage 1, he's done it again most recently. That number 1 pit stall has paid huge dividends in this race.
Yeah, no, if we have a late race caution, they're talking about it again on the broadcast. That number 1 pit stall is just so valuable. I'm just backing up a little bit so that way I can get some bag support, man. That's the one thing I'm gonna have to do if we run this back next week in the same location, which I don't think we're gonna do. I'm gonna have to get a different chair in here. Yeah, like I said, it's so hard to pass here. It's just a tire wear battle. Phoenix is terrible. The fact that we have our championship race here, it really actually saddens me. Because, if you want to show a friend a race, it's not Daytona. Like, if you don't want them to, just watch Rex, a championship race. Like, somebody wants to watch the Super Bowl. It's, not an ass, you're not a football fan, but you watch the Super Bowl, and you're probably somewhat entertained. If you're not a NASCAR fan and you watch Phoenix and you're entertained, well, then God bless you. I don't know. That's just yikes. I think, are we going green here this time? Yeah, Hamlin on the inside. He has had a few good restarts here. Reddick on his outside. And the green flag back out. Once again, Hamlin gets a great jump, just clear by a car length before we even basically get to the line. Oh, that is really tight. We are 4 or 5 wide. Oh, I don't know if that's going to work, man. I don't know if that's going to work. Oh, somebody's making up a lot of spots around the outside there. Stacking up there a little bit. I think it's going to work. I think Larson's right in the middle of that. Yikes. Oh, now they're 4 wide ahead of them. Wallace, Briscoe, Jones. Still, though, Hamlin, Reddick, Byron, Blaney, Elliott, your top 5. 1 lap after the restart. These guys, I'd be racing so hard right now. You don't know when you're going to get another opportunity to pass someone. Oh, we got a caution. Oh, and it's Kyle Busch who spun on the back straightaway. Hey, we get another restart. I'm okay with that. Honestly, I'm not usually a crash promoter, but I would love to just see restarts from here to the finish because, my God, the green flag racing here is rough. Now, you're not going to see anybody pit here, guaranteed. In terms of much oscillation near the front, I don't think there's many positions gained or lost amongst the top 10 there. Oh, he just lost it behind the 42. Oh, overcorrects. 71 and the 15 might have gotten a tiny bit of damage there. Nobody really with any sort of major damage out of this, mainly just probably a bruised ego for Kyle Busch. This is a day for him to forget. Free pass, though, that's actually a valuable thing from this caution for somebody. I think Joey Logano's the free pass. And also, I think Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Todd Gilliland, Carson Hocevar all took the wave around. So we'll actually go from 19 cars on the lead lap a little while ago to now having 24 cars on the lead lap. Yeah, Kyle Busch, this has been a rough day for him, to say the least.
From the wireless company that brings you the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage for up to half off, comes something just as unbelievable.
And the laps continue to pass by. Currently this is our second yellow for instance today, our 4th yellow on the day. Only one car out of the race. That's Austin Cindric, and then one car multiple laps down. That's Austin Dillon, 7 laps down.
That boost you get when you look and feel your best. And that's why more men choose Just for Men.
Yeah, today is a day to forget for RCR, man.
The official hamburger of March Madness, a buck. For Tyler and Toby, on another level.
114 laps to go now currently. Almost 200 in the books. Thanks everybody who's tuned in throughout the stream and the broadcast.
Get hyped with fresh, never frozen beef on Whitney State's single for a buck. Only in the app.
Closing in on 500 people that have tuned in throughout the day. Will we be live next week? Maybe, potentially. Next week is Bristol, so good racing. I'll say that. That is something to look forward to. Good racing. Then Coda after that, so potentially 2 solid back-to-back weeks of action.
Join us at Toyota Racing.
And I believe SVG's in the Cup Series at Coda. I might be wrong about that.
My wife, and she says, "What in the world is happening?" I took my iPad on. I pulled up Twitter, and your name is trending. Did you fall down? What have you said? What is happening? So I had to explain to her what was going on, that I had said lit on television, and everybody was a little bit caught off guard because it's obviously way out of character for me to say it. So I guess we've created a monster.
Okay. Here we go. Denny Hamlin's going to be trying to hold off Reddick on another restart. I imagine he'll take the inside. I mean, if I'm Reddick, I'm almost just going to try and jump these restarts because Hamlin is just launching so far clear that it's taken him 5 laps to catch back up to him to get, in position to get the lead back.
Documented the slow stop for Christopher Bell and the 20 team. Michael Hicks is the rear changer. We watched it back. Hard to tell exactly where it went wrong. What happened?
So the wheel didn't make it over the drive pins, and it was kind of stuck. So I had to stay on the lug nut just to ensure and watch that the back of the wheel made it to the back plate. So that's what sometimes you gotta stay there longer to make sure the wheel's tight. And that's what I had to do.
Well, I appreciate your time, Mike. We celebrate when they do good, and we appreciate when they talk when something goes sideways and they have a slow.
Hey, they're interviewing pit crew guys right now, which is like actually, it's so valuable. Like to me, I think that's such an people. If you're a casual fan, most people know about like the pit crew guys. And they're like, oh wow, like they changed tires in 5 seconds or to 10 seconds. I think that's something that definitely needs to be promoted more, and also to shine more spotlights on these guys. They put in a lot of work to be a part of these pit crew members. The drivers, they're doing their stuff throughout the week, but like these pit crew guys are having to train as athletes 5 days a week, and then they're having to travel away from their families on these weekends. Not saying that of course they choose to do this. I'm sure they love what they do, but it's great to spotlight these pit crew guys. They're obviously a huge part of any driver having success or failing. All right.
Not so high above the speedway. At one point, I thought it was going to join us here at the control tower.
And I'm not really sure what they're doing with the camera right now. Okay, here we go.
Here's Denny Hamlin talking about restart.
You think we'll come to the Chusco next time by? 201 laps complete now. Sounds like Dan Hamlin's complaining about the restart when, he of all people has been having the best ones by a mile. Jefferson, exactly. I love that they're doing pit crew chats. It makes it a little more engaging, like you learn more. Yeah. It's like sideline interviews in the XFL. I think it also gives us a good way to just generate more action in these races when you go through those lulls. Or just right now under this caution when we're just kind of having to sit here and wait for the field to get formed up to go green again. It gives you something to fill that time with. That's actually valuable information and not just clip where you're yapping. And Kyle Busch, he is just livid today. And I would be too. Oh, LaJoy got the free pass, not Logano. I misspoke.
Toyotas up front, Hamlin and Reddick. Chevy Ford second row, Byron and Blaney. Elliott Truex, Gregson.
Here we go. We only got one green flag lap in under that last restart. Let's see if we can get a few more in this time by. Hamlin on the inside, Reddick on the inside, outside. Last time, same thing as last time. Byron on the inside of row 2 with Blaney to his outside. Then Truex and Elliott row 3. Here we go into the Geico restart zone. 110 laps to go here from Phoenix. Once again, Hamlin. Amazing job through the restart zone. Reddick stays closer this time, able to side draft him. He's there alongside into turn 1. Can he clear him? Yes, he will. And Tyler Reddick finally gets it done on one of these restarts using that outside line. Hamlin drops back to second, and Blaney is in third. Oh man, these guys are battling real hard now. And oh, somebody's going to get up and tag the wall there. Who is that? Is that Jones? We'll see what happens. I can't tell. It's like an orange car. That might be Chastain or Keselowski. We'll see if somebody might have bent a toe link there. Ooh, the 17 got real tight. Okay, that was Chastain that got the wall. I mean, I think if you would have had a real problem, they would have, it would have, appeared by now. Keselowski now going to cut down across the dogleg, trying to get by Bell and Elliott, who are side by side. It's going to be close here through 1 and 2. Oh, we got a big crash. The 22's around with the 7 and others, the 71. Oh, man, that's another Penske car taken out. When you have that 4 wide, 5 wide action, you got to expect it's going to bite somebody here. And Corey LaJoie, who had just gotten the free pass, is involved. We'll see him get refired. Oh, LaJoie, that thing's more killed than I thought. He got that outside wall pretty good. And Logano's going to drop the window net.
It's been a tough day for Joey Logano. They struggled qualifying and wound up putting themselves in the back and going a lap down.
There may have been some contact with the 42.
Oh, it sounds like the 42 Nemechek was involved with this. I think he was also battling for that free pass spot here. 22 on the inside. Oh, yeah, it looks like the 42 gets into the back of him, and then Logano's a passenger. And, oh, man, Stenhouse just avoids this. And nowhere for LaJoie to go. He's trying to get high to avoid him. Barry spins in avoidance, and he's able to get away pretty unscathed. The 16 got tagged there a bit, but that might have bent something. And the 71, I think, just kind of taps the nose. That should be okay with the 71 and Zane Smith. Zane Smith's been off to a pretty rough year, considering our rookie class so far. Gregson and, why am I blinking? Oh, Gregson and Hocevar have really taken most of the storylines. Oh, Bond, that hurts the fantasy. I'm trying to think, who's in my fantasy? Oh, no, that doesn't hurt any of my fantasy. My fantasy team is still, I believe I chose Reddick, Hamlin, Byron, and who else? I think I chose Gibbs. One more I chose. That does make me first in fantasy for this week, though. Oh, I also chose Elliott and Byron. And I had chosen Hocevar originally, but I dropped him. Which... No, I'm glad I kept Gibson. Yeah, that hurt a few guys in the fantasy league. You're hoping Joey would turn things around, Bond? Yeah, I thought about putting in him or Blaney, and I mean now I kind of wish I had put in Blaney, but Penske I just wasn't confident in them, and I mean they've kind of proved me somewhat right today. I mean Blaney's still in the top 5, but Logano and Cindric never really brought much to the table. Started outside the top 20, and both of them are now in the garage. I think Kraus has also officially called it a day. And so has LaJoie, based off what I'm getting from the telemetry board. So I'll give a few more spots to Austin Dillon. whose rough season continues.
Stem cell transplant or receive chest radiation. Your search for 2 immunotherapies starts here. Ask your doctor about Opdivo plus Yervoy.
We're gonna look at the live standings right now. I want to see how hurt Austin Dillon is through all this, because he has been wrecked multiple times this season. So in terms of full-timers, Kaz Grall's last in points, but he also missed the Daytona 500, so. Ryan Preece is down there, but he also had a penalty. Zane Smith is the lowest driver without the penalty. Austin Dillon just ahead of him. Josh Berry's down there. Justin Haley. Noah Gragson, even with the penalties, in 26th. If you add 35 points to where Gregson's at, he would be, I think, in the playoff picture. He would be thoroughly in the playoff picture. Just ahead of Christopher Bell, he'd be holding down the 15th points, or 15th in the standings currently. Currently, Blaney leads the standings as they run. Then it's Byron, Reddick, Truex, Larson in the top 5. Right around the cut line, Austin Cindric currently holds 16th. Just behind him is Stenhouse, 6 points back. Nemechek, 8 points back. There's actually a pretty big gap there between 16th and the rest of the field. It kind of gets pretty big. The point differential gets bigger and bigger. Quite a few cars outside the top 10 choose to come in and pit here. I don't think this is a terrible idea. We are pretty close to the fuel window in theory, actually. So you could probably stretch it all the way to the end here if it went green. I mean, Nemechek, saying my bad. I mean, obviously most drivers are going to say my bad. But, I mean, nothing you can do to change the 3-wrecked race cars. They're still working on the nose of the Zane Smith, and actually I think Josh Berry got a little bit of damage to the left rear. And no free pass given out because Logano was in the free pass position, and he was obviously taken out in the wreck. Here we go, though. Now Reddick will be the control car for a change. Then it'll be Hamlin to his outside. And then we'll see what Blaney and further on what they do. The inside line's definitely preferred because you're able to just go down, cut that dog leg, and then in turns 1 and 2, if you're on the outside, you're kind of stuck up there. Hey, let me know in the chat. At this point, who do you think is going to win? 101 laps to go now. Okay, so we're going to do another caution lap. Oh, God. How many more cautions will we get? Well, I mean, no more stage L's. I'm not sure. I mean, if we go long, if we make it through the first 10 laps, I think we're going to go green to the finish. But we have to make it through those first 10 laps first. It's just, on those opening few laps of the run, you're 3 and 4 wide, so, chance of a mistake is so much higher. After that, though, you rarely even see 2 wide because you rarely even see a pass. I don't know if I'm really team pro wreck right now, or I'm team let's race to the finish,
And if you're not in position to be the car that is fast enough to win the race, you have to pay attention to points. And really, from the beginning of the year, if you don't pay attention to points, because you don't really know if you're going to be one of the faster cars or not. So
hopefully we're seeing the juice come this time. That'll mean we're going green with 99 laps to go. So I think the guys that just pitted are right within the fuel window, barely. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty confident they're just within the fuel window. So I would be interested to see if we go green. You might see some drivers just try and stretch it all the way, like what Todd Gilliland did.
Having trouble in the pits, we're frustrated, everything's catching up. These restarts, they breed more restarts.
And you got to go. no matter what just happened, you have to be aggressive and you have to
So it's going to be Reddick on the inside, Hamlin on the outside, then Byron on the inside of row 2 with Blaney to his outside, Keselowski on the inside of row 3 with Truex to his outside. There. Gregson, Keselowski, Elliott. Or wait, oops, messed it up. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, Reddick actually chose the outside this time. We'll see if it works for him as the control car. Here we go. Green flag back out, and Hamlin's going to stay alongside. I kind of question that decision to go high. And Gregson's going to jump up 3 wide, but he's going to lose spots by doing that. Oh, Truex surging around the outside of Blaney. That'll throw him up into the 3rd spot. Hamlin is staying on the quarter panel of Reddick down the back straightaway. That was crucial for him to stay in this fight for the lead, but now Truex is going to come through on the high side and try and push Reddick clear of Hamlin. Oh, Truex thought about maybe making it 3 wide in the middle there. Where's he going to go? He keeps pushing the 45. Kind of boxed in right now on the high side. Where did Truex come from? Oh, man, behind him they are 5 wide there for a moment. And now Reddick's finally going to clear Hamlin. That's big for him. And they're 3 wide back here. Keselowski, Wallace, and Gregson. This is 6th through 8th right here on the table. Oh, we got a spinner. Hamlin from the lead. Oh, boy. We're going to throw the yellow flag, but he's going to lose it on his own trying to push it. And I'm sure if you've played this video game, I think everybody has made that mistake Hamlin has in any game, any turn. You get in the throttle too soon, and you just lose it. When you're trying to push for that speed, when you're on a flat track like that, it's so easy because there's really no banking to catch you. Like, you can't kind of throttle up into the banking. And he just gassed it up, and that let him just spin around. Now everybody's definitely in the fuel window to make it from here.
So the other thing that this probably does, guys, is those guys that just pitted. Let's see what happened. See, Denny Hamlin.
But your leaders, do you pit now? I think the leaders are stuck. Oh, Hamlin split himself. I mean, same concept. He got in the gas too soon and ran to the side of the 45. Same concept. Wasn't actually on his own there, but going hard for the lead. But that really puts Reddick, really all those like top 5, I think, that didn't pit, top 10 that didn't pit. I feel like you have to pit now, because you know everybody behind you isn't going to pit. Well, from here to the end of the race, and you're not going to be able to make up a pit stop under green flag. Maybe you just try or keep running it and hope you get another yellow. But I mean, the only way you know you can make it to the finish is pitting here. Lucky he spun down so low and didn't have to risk getting collected by somebody. Oh, dude, that does hurt my fantasy team, I'm realizing, though. Yikes.
So, Larry, I guess you got a decision to make with all these caution laps. You're saving fuel. You're going to save all you want, but you want tires or track position?
You got to pit.
I've been looking at the numbers. Everybody up front pitted with 113 laps to go, but we've run about 15 caution laps since they pitted.
Maybe they'll try and stretch it just as is.
It's right there on the threshold of being able to.
Reddick will pit, and Truex is going to stay out.
A lot of them's going to stay out, including Kyle Larson, who pitted 2 cautions ago. All those cars are pitted that last time.
Oh my God, Larson pitted. What the frick? What's the point in this? Oh my gosh. Why? Oh, I'm so infuriated. Like, you just threw away more track position to pit, and now you're just going to pit again? Oh, what a terrible strategy call. Horrendous strategy call. Oh my gosh. Probably like something, like they probably weren't totally confident on fuel, but oh, just terrible call. Oh, they might have just given it a splash. Okay, actually I'm not as anti. Okay, they didn't change tires, they just splashed it to make sure he can make it. So they still basically, it's the same thing. They basically cycle ahead. So it's going to be Truex, and then Priest, Busher are some of the, and I think Byron maybe, if I'm interpreting the leaderboard right. A handful of guys who did pit before decided just to stay out here. And then a couple that pitted before decided to come back down pit road like Larson and get a splash. So they sacrificed a few spots but ended up netting more. Not as much as they could have by just staying out, period. So I'm not as anti as I was. Anyways, Truex out front. I think he might have been the smart player in all this. Now he's finally got clean air, and he's a Toyota, which could work out well for him. But how quickly does Ty Gibbs and these other guys knife through all these slower cars? That's going to be the... I'm actually very intrigued now. Truex could play spoiler to all of this and just drive out and save enough fuel to make it to the end without pitting here. But yeah, no, Reddick, Hamlin, those guys, they're all outside the top 15. The highest car with, I would say, like, quote, race-winning pace at some point is Ty Gibbs in 10th. But even then, he hasn't had race-winning pace as of late. I mean, I'd say Byron in 15th, the first car with those tires. Man, wow. This whole race is just flipped. And the laps continue to wind down, 93 to go. I think we'll get restarted with about 90 laps to go. And everybody should be good on fuel except Truex at this point. A handful might have taken the wave around, or the lucky dog at least was Kyle Busch. So things are kind of starting to work out for him. That just leaves Hemrick, Burton, Zane Smith, the only cars one lap down, battling for that free pass if we were to get another caution. All right. Thanks for rewatching. I think Larson's really not in a very good position here because he's the first guy ahead of all those leaders that just pitted. I actually think he didn't even really net gain spots. He net gained like 2 spots through all this chaos. He net gained the least of anybody on his strategy. I don't know. I'm interested to see, man. Is there somebody ahead, like Eric Jones in 8th, or somebody like that, that can kind of, who's able to leapfrog those previous leaders, that is able to kind of, you know, use those cars in between him and the leaders to end up netting out a win here or something? I do have a feeling Truex might end up playing spoiler, though. Truex on the outside, Priest on the inside. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. Pretty good restart for Truex. And he's going to just clear the 41 by the time we get into turn 1. Now we'll see, can they make it through turn 1 cleanly this time? Oh, bit of contact there. I think that was Larson and Reddick, maybe. Jones on the outside of 3 wide with Briscoe and Gibbs. Briscoe's washing up the track a little bit. And Truex is away easily out front ahead of Priest and Gillen. Oh, we're 4 wide. Somebody's going around, or going to go up the track. Jones going to tag the wall. Just hangs on to it. But that's going to cost him majorly. And I think he might have broken a toe link there. Oh, boy. And that's it for Jones's day. I just jinxed him as well. 3 wide, Gilliland, Chastain, and Gibbs. Gillen's fading here. I really don't think he's got that strong of a race car. Priest is actually hanging pretty close with their leader right now. Keselowski, Stenhouse, Suarez 3 wide. That's for 10th position, just about. And Reddick's right behind him. He is the highest running of anybody that just pitted. Next is Gregson. But he has still not gotten to the top 10 yet. Gibbs with the 2 tire calls up to 3rd. That ended up playing spoiler. And Gregson might be able to get ahead of Reddick here. That would be big to be the first guy on 4 fresh tires.
Lost from that track position. How do you get it back? You need an opportunity. That opportunity came with those cautions. Flip-flopped them.
Bell, Reddick, and Gregson all battling to be the first guy on these 4 fresh tires, but still they've got to battle the guys ahead of them to even get in contention for this battle for the lead. Right now, Truex is just praying for a caution, and Priest is praying we don't get one, because right now he's the one sitting in the catbird seat. Maybe Ty Gibbs, actually.
The only flip side to that is it doesn't make more gas. And if this thing runs green, it has a tendency to run green. And if it doesn't go green, he's going to have to figure out how to save some gas at some point.
The only thing I'll say, Truex can probably, I don't know. Gibbs is closing in on the top 2. Hamlin trying to work by Stenhouse. That's for 16th. Jones still out on the racetrack, actually, but definitely off the pace. Already almost half a lap down. Probably just trying to ride it down at this point. Just frustrated with how things are going to go. Oh, Suarez is going to block Reddick in big time. That's going to cost him a spot to Bell and probably Blaney here. Oh, boy, this is not working out for Reddick. I mean, Gregson continuing to lead the charge, but he's got Bell on him now. Gregson trying to get by his teammate Briscoe. Busher getting by Gillen for 6th. And Gregson working his way to the inside of Briscoe for 9th. And Priest is starting to fall off of Truex. Gibbs is going to be catching Priest here pretty soon. Oh, they're through wide a little bit ahead. Gregson and Bell side by side. Gregson might get stuck in the dirty air behind the 14. No, he won't. The 20 will. Bell's looking very strong, I will say that. I just don't know if they're going to have enough time. These guys are battling each other so hard to be the first guy of the 4 fresh tires. I think they might end up just burning through their stuff before they get through them. Now we're to 82 laps to go. Essentially, 1/9 of this run is, or 1/10 of this run has gone around. I think Gibbs is really the one to watch. He's got the freshest 2 tires. I mean, he's going to have a big advantage over Priest. And so, really, the question is, can Truex save and hold on to the lead at the same time? I don't think Bell and Gregson are going to get there without some cautions. All of a sudden, got 3 Stewart-Haas cars in position to get a top 10. They would gladly take that. Oh, Gregson going for the crossover on Bell. That might work out for him. Will his teammate give him that? No, he won't. Now Briscoe's going to go low and put dirty air on the nose of his teammate. Surprised we're not really seeing teammates help each other here.
This is the crazy part about NASCAR racing. You just never know when these strategies, and right now we're looking at a 10-lap difference of just one pit decision.
Larson and Blaney battling for 14th. And thanks to everybody watching. 80 to go now. Truex with a 1.5 second lead over Priest. And there's just 2/10 between Priest and Gibbs. That's the battle for second. Chastain's about a 1.5 seconds off of that. Then McDowell, Busher, Keselowski, Gilliland, Briscoe, Bell, your top 10.
It's harder to be the leader than it is anything else because everybody in the middle of the pack is just going to do the opposite of what you do. So when you get in those strategy call situations, it's like, all right, well, let's pit.
Man, I think Gibbs is going to have this. I don't think Priest is going to be able to hold off Gibbs. If he can, that'll be amazing. That's all I'm cheering for right now is Priest to somehow hold off Ty Gibbs.
Meanwhile, Ty Gibbs is catching Ryan Priest for second place.
Oh, I don't know. I just don't see it. That 41 car is dancing. Oh boy.
And how about
Oh boy.
the decision to stay out at lap 217 when most of the leaders
I mean, Truex is so much faster than the guys behind him. He might be able to get out big enough of a lead and just kind of coast around, save enough fuel to make it to the finish. There's so many things going on. I don't really know who's got this, who's in the best position right now. Bell's finally cleared Gregson. Now he's also getting by Briscoe, so that moves him to 9th.
Well, that's a couple things.
But he's still 5 seconds off the leader. More than that now, 6 seconds.
Rotors, they start to vibrate and it knocks the pads back. And so what he's talking about is when he goes to push on the pedal, it goes further than what he's used to it. And he has to push the pedal down further to make
Keselowski trying to get by McDowell for 6th.
Pretty typical problem here at Phoenix.
Usually it becomes when you're out front like this, you're using less brakes. That get that temperature in.
Man, I'm so tense right now. I really want Priest to somehow hold on to this.
trying to make some inroads on Ty Gibbs up there close to Ryan Priest in third. It's about 1.3 seconds back.
Hey, Bell just wants Gibbs to hold up, to get held up by Priest as long as possible. Because he might be 6 seconds behind Truex, but he's only 4 seconds behind Gibbs. And he's going to pick off another one as he's trying to get by Gillen now. Yeah, Gregson and Reddick, they've just stalled out entirely in 11th and 12th.
With Straight Talk Wireless, you get unlimited data. You get America's most reliable 5G network. You get a Samsung Galaxy A15.
The lap's continuing to wind down. Priest losing more time with every lap to Truex, but holding the 54 at bay. That's another thing. The 54 has been bad on the long run. So if Priest, maybe if he's able to hold the 54 till, about 60 to go, that might be enough for him to finally get the advantage over that car. But, oh wow, Bell is moving fast, though. Bell is up to 7th now. I think Bell can do it. I think Bell can do it. Ooh, boy. Oh, boy. Obviously, we've seen another caution that'll also change all this because everybody's going to pit again. A second, I was like, oh, there's a slow car on the track, but no, it's just the wounded car of Eric Jones. So yes, I guess there is a slow car on the track, but not a caution-worthy one. Bell is just so, even dealing with traffic, he's like 0.2 of a second faster than Priest and Gibbs. And he is pulling away. He's now got 3 cars and a second and a half between him and Gregson, who's the next car with tires. Also, what happened to Elliott? Or no, Elliott just got shuffled out through the strategy. And now he's down 21st. Poor Jones, man. He had top 10 speed today, and he's probably going to finish outside the top 30 after that restart shenanigan. Come on, let's see what you can do, Priest. Let's see what you can do. I need these other guys to hold up Bell as long as they can. Because I don't know. I think Truex obviously can save enough fuel and make it. I just don't know if he can do that and also get the win. But Bell, I think Bell is definitely fast enough currently to make up 3 seconds and pass 5 cars over the next 68 laps. Because I think the handling is just going to come more and more his way as time goes on. It's simply a matter if somebody gives him a hard time. Oh boy, Gibbs looking at the inside of Priest there. That's the closest I've seen him. Briscoe and Gillen battling for 10th. That might allow Gregson to get by both of them here if he does it, lines it up correctly. I think Gibbs is really pushing right now. That or Priest is falling off. We'll see. Things are getting closer and closer for Gibbs to, kind of lose the handle on his car. Interesting. So Truex is more worried about tires than fuel.
Toyota got its first pole of the season today, and first 2 stage wins of the season today. Laps led only 70.
Bell's now gotten by Keselowski. That moves him up to 6th.
They have dominated here in the Arizona desert.
Well, we knew that
Briscoe's gotten by Gillen for 9th.
all weekend, really, they fired off the truck and qualified good, practiced good.
Oh, here we go. Gibbs to the inside of Priest here in 3 and 4. Could this be it? Oh, I think he's going to get alongside him here. Priest pulling ahead a little bit, but usually when we see people get this far alongside into 1 and 2, they can complete the pass. Oh, can Gibbs do it? Yes, he will. Gibbs has got it. Dang it. Okay, now I'm Team Bell. Now I'm Team Bell. Still, I don't know. Priest held him off as long as he could, but definitely does not have the pace of the Toyotas on the long run. Oh, wow. Priest, they're still 5 laps short?
I honestly think that that's where the 19 is, too.
Okay.
I think he might have an advantage to be able to go out there, and here we get a good shot of the left rear tire. You want to run the tires as low as you can get them.
You sit on the bottom, but you can see that sidewall wrinkled up all the way up the wheel.
Great shot.
Dang, that's actually really good. They're showing a shot of the sidewall of the 41, and he is on a really low air pressure.
Cars that are in jeopardy, there are just 2 of them really. Truex who pitted at lap 190 and Priest who pitted at 199. Everyone else has been to pit road either 10 laps or 18 laps.
45 trying to get by Gregson. This is for 11th. He's not going to be able to do it that time.
Ross Chastain 4th. Trying to gain a little ground here.
The leader for 19 did not make it on fuel. 41 is close to into the stretch. The 54 in front of you is on the, like to make it on gas, but he goes on a long run. You in the 17 can make it. If you're struggling with loose, you can try leaving it 5th.
Okay. I think Gibbs is good on gas, it seems like. They're pretty confident. Priest is not. Chastain and Buescher feel confident. Hamlin's got by Larson for 15th. Boy.
It says I can't double the laps on these tires. The only one that we've seen go long was David.
And it looks like Reddick. Oh, is he going to finally get Gregson? We'll see. Oh, here we go. Bell on Buescher to the inside. And that'll move Christopher Bell up into 5th. More importantly, he is only like a second and a half. Or actually, no, scratch that. He is like 2 seconds off of Ty Gibbs. 2 cars separate him between Ty Gibbs in 2 seconds. And I think he's going to get there with 45 to go. Maybe faster. As the run goes on, Bell's advantage will only get bigger and bigger. And Chastain and Priest are now side by side for 3rd. Chastain to the inside of the 41. And he's got it. Bell looking to the inside of Priest as well now. He might even try to get the 2-for-1 here on Priest and Chastain. Chastain's going to go down, though, and kind of cover that off.
Christopher Bell's car is so strong. I know they've had trouble on pit road, but his car is so strong.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Bell is going to get there. I had said give it 15 laps. Actually, how about give it like 5?
We heard the radio transmission talking about the 54 car falling off, and if that's the case on 2 tires, it's probably going to fall off quicker.
I agree with you. If anybody can run down Truex, your leader, it's Christopher Bell. You see picking off another Ross Chastain easily. Rolled right around him on
Now the question is, are we going to see another caution? Because at this point, I think Bell's got this in the bag. He's got such a pace advantage. He will catch Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs might hold him off for a little bit, but I think he'll catch Ty Gibbs. And I think he can even go down and chase Martin Truex Jr. down. I don't think Truex can save 5 gallons, or not 5 laps. I mean, maybe he can, but I'd be surprised. Busher going to the inside of Priest. This is for 5th. I'm just shocked Gregson and Reddick have not made up any ground since the restart. And Busher almost clear of the Priest. Yes, he'll now be clear with 56 laps to go. Move Busher up into the top 5, and I expect Priest to honestly free fall. I don't even know if he'll finish on the lead lap with the amount of fuel he's going to have to save. 55 to go. Truex putting the wounded car of Austin Dillon another lap down. In terms of lap traffic, I mean, that'll be a factor here with the 90-lap run, obviously. I say he probably won't catch any lappers till about 35 to go. Yeah, I think Truex is really stuck here. With the amount of fuel he's going to have to save. Plus, once he starts having to deal with lap traffic, he'll lose that clean air benefit. And, I mean, Bell's moving fast. Bell's going to get Gibbs in the next 5 laps, max. He is there. I just don't see what the 54 can do to hold off the 20. He is so strong. Further down the running order. And Reddick's on Gillen's bumper. I think by the end of the race, Reddick will probably end up moving up into the top 6 or so. He'll pass Gillen and Briscoe, and I think Priest will be another free spot because he's going to have to save so much gas. Also, Briscoe had passed Gillen a little earlier on. Now Gillen trying to retake the position. Here we go. Side by side through the trial. Oh, that's 2 lapped cars. Never mind that. Okay, yeah, Gibbs is under attack. It is like 1/10.5 second gap right now. And Briscoe to the inside of the 38, and he is going to have the spot. Now the 20 is going by the 54 down the back straightaway into turn 3. There you got it. Christopher Bell is now into second place, and effectively your leader if Martin Truex Jr. cannot save enough. But even if Truex somehow saves it, I think Bell's just going to make up that 5-second gap with 50 laps to go. Bell is just on rails right now. Either way, a Toyota's coming out on top. That'll end Chevy's streak of getting just victories in every Cup race so far. Keselowski's now catching Priest. It's for 6th. I think there's a chance Gibbs might even get caught by a few others like Chastain and Busher. He has really struggled on the long runs in Stage 1 and Stage 2. Reddick's gotten by Gilland. That's for 10th.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad. Hey, watch it. It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face. Game changer. While the Flex, this contours to it. So the 5 blades...
Talking about a day to forget for Chevrolet or for Hendrick, honestly. This does not look good for a Championship 4 race. Right now, the Toyotas must feel super confident. Ford's really not too much of anything, but the Chevys just have not had anything for the Toyotas. And now you had, at least you had Elliott and Byron they were able to hold track position and run inside of the top 5 most of the day, but they've lost that track position and have made no ground. They're 20th, 21st, and then Bowman's in 22nd and Larson's in 16th. Yikes. Hamlin looking to the inside of Suarez for 14th on the racetrack. I don't know if he's going to be able to make the pass this time. He's going to side draft. Nope, not there. The gap down to 4.5 seconds already. Bell, I mean, last time by was only about a tenth faster than Truex. But that gap is, I think, just going to shrink rapidly.
Been a tenth of a second faster a lap than Truex. He was 5.1 back when he got to second place. Now he's 4.4 back. And if he continues on this pace,
well, they got the tires up for Truex.
However, as Larry Mack has pointed out,
Oh, wow. It looks like they're thinking about pitting Truex here.
the race leader, can he go the distance on what he has?
Or at least they're prepared at any moment.
And at the ready, as Christopher Bell continues to close, and Ty Gibbs holds on to
I'm pretty sure Truex was pretty much banking on getting another yellow flag, because if they did, he might have been able to save enough fuel to make it.
Well, there it is. That's a teammate of Truex Jr. saying he cannot make it. You saw the tires ready on the wall.
Well, so it sounds like officially Truex is not making it to the finish of this race.
They've been fibbing a little bit there, Kevin.
He can't lie to us.
Also, considering that Priest has got about the same amount of fuel to save as Truex, I think that's another car that probably can't make it. And Priest is about to give up another spot to McDowell. At this point, I'm pretty sure Truex is just praying for a caution. I mean, at this current pace, if Truex somehow had enough gas, Bell is not, like, closing in super fast.
He's run some really good lap times. Let's hear what Martin has to say.
If they were to go all the way through, cycle through, probably around P5 or so. Only thing you can close pace-wise here right now is still Christopher. You still got 5 seconds.
Yeah, so at this point, it sounds like Truex is hoping for a caution, and they somehow estimate that if they do pit, they'll finish around 5th.
But they still have the new knocked off of him, and to be able to run like he has tells you how fast his car is.
Well, also, those tires had,
The way Truex is doing out front, though, it just shows that clean air is key. Truex was a solid top 10 car. I think got in the top 5 at a few points throughout the race, but now they got the clean air. I mean, he's basically running just as fast laps as anybody. Bell is just a hair quicker, but nobody else. Now Blaney going by Gregson, that's for 12th. Looks like Gregson's car not handling how he wants it on this run. Starting to go backwards. And Truex is pitting. There it is. He is throwing in the towel with 41 laps to go. And now it's Bell's race to lose. Now move Gibbs into second, Chastain, Buescher, Keselowski the top 5. Double RFK top 5 right now. That's pretty impressive. And double FRM top 10. See where Truex merges out. Is he going to lose a lap pitting from the lead? I think, yes, he will. Or it'll be close. Now, hopefully he doesn't get a penalty to add insult to injury. So yeah, he's going to lose a lap. He'll probably cycle out around the 5th position. But his tires should be a lot fresher, so he could probably go up and unlap himself here and maybe pick up a few spots. Buescher going to the inside of Chastain for 3rd. And Buescher looks like he's going to be able to make that pass with ease. It's probably one of the easiest passes we've seen so far out of the top 5. And Priest is also hit pit road. Oh boy, man, Truex is so much faster on the fresh tires. These guys at this point in the run are about, well, Bell's lap times are, well, yeah, no, they're about a second a lap slower, if not more, a second and a half for some of them, than their fastest laps of the day. Now, right now, Bell just does not want to see a yellow flag. He's got a 3-second lead that's slowly growing. This is the longest anybody's going to run on a set of tires today, besides Todd Gilliland's long run in stage 2, so you never know. Maybe we'll see something that happened to Allgaier yesterday.
The first race I won, I was 6 years old, driving a micro
36 to go.
Speedway in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. My favorite win of my NASCAR career would be the 2022 Charlotte Roval. A racetrack that I really want to win at is Dover. I want to take home miles.
Gregson in P11, man. If he doesn't get a top 10, I'd kind of be sad for that. I mean, he's had a great run today. Hopefully he gets a top 10 to show for it, make it 3 for 4 on the season.
On the dirt side has been very successful here. You've talked, Clint, like he was going to be the leader of Joe Gibbs Racing in the performance side of things, and he has definitely been the leader since they unloaded this weekend. I think.
Looks like Keselowski, I think, has got to be pretty confident in terms of getting a top 5. There's a 3-second gap between him and McDowell, who's in 6th, unless Reddick goes on a tear here. Reddick's catching up to Briscoe, might be able to make that pass happen soon for 7th.
I think, previewing the year, I said, I think this is a breakout year for Christopher Bell, and obviously he's proven that correct. But I think that was an easy pick.
Reddick all over the bumper of the 14. Can't get held up too much here because Blaney's also in the rearview Merkin, making up time. Another week, another weekend that Reddick's going to feel like he had a car to win and just not going to get the result. Things out of his control entirely. McDowell, though, another solid result, potentially going to get a top 10, maybe a top 5 if some things fall his way. Chastain's really starting to give up some time as this run's going on. Keselowski should be able to pass him pretty soon. So they're checking to his onboard. Keselowski about 2 car lengths back.
Every driver 3rd through 7th has an average running position out of the top 10 and varying strategies among that whole group. What are they saying?
Yeah, Mike, the 2 I'm watching right now is Chris Buescher in the 17, who's in 3rd, and Ross Chastain in the 1 car.
And Keselowski on the bumper. Chastain this time through 1 and 2.
3 laps to go, but they've run 9 cautions. Scott Graves, Chris Buescher crew chief, he knows they're 6 seconds out of the lead right now.
With the laps winding down now, 30 to go. Bell managing a 4-second gap over Gibbs, who was actually a little faster than Bell last time by. Keselowski surging to the inside of Chastain. Can he get the side draft down the straightaway? Just not quite this time.
Let's hear from Chris Buescher's team, sitting in 3rd.
Also, Gregson battling Gilliland for that 10th position. They're side by side down the front straightaway.
Time, here we go, Team 17.
And Gregson might have the spot here off turn 2. And he will. That moves him up into the top 10. Gilliland back to 11th. Hamlin's now right there trying to get that spot from him. And Hamlin's got the spot as well. So now some of those cars, as we've gotten to a really late point in the run, some of the guys that were strong early on and got shuffled out by those cautions, making up some ground. Just Bell was able to do it so much faster.
That was what I would use. I would just drive it into the corner, 75-80% throttle, and then try to use normal throttle through the corner.
A lot of times you'll find you pick up speeds. Yeah. Wait a minute. I'm going slower. Well, back up. Go slower.
Priest trying to come back from a lap down, trying to pick up some more spots here, ideally. Also, Trix has gone and unlapped himself, so he's up to 21st. He's going to continue to pick up spots. His lap times are... oh boy, he's almost a second faster a lap than the guys ahead of him. Hey, last 4 Phoenix races, average last caution to 290. Just tossing that out there. That's not for another 5 laps, so maybe we'll see another yellow flag to spice things up.
Well, I know all about that stat, Larry. Last year we were absolutely annihilating them here in this this spring race in Phoenix, and the caution came out. We went from thinking we were going to win to I don't even know where we finished, not first.
And Reddick's gotten another spot on Briscoe. Now he's going to try and hunt down Michael McDowell.
Well, it was okay, but we didn't win. We needed to win.
Blaney to the inside of Briscoe for the 8th position.
Right now, if you're Christopher Bell, you want to see, you don't even want to hear that stat. You don't want to know anything about it. You don't want to think about cautions. You want to be.
Bell's starting to work a little bit of lap traffic. Shouldn't be a problem though. Gibbs is not going to make up that 4.5 second gap. Bell can just really coast here to the finish. You know, reflections on the day. I mean, once again, I've said it multiple times, and obviously it's evident by the leaderboard itself, but Toyota so strong. I mean, Bell made the Final Four last year, obviously had the mechanical problem. But today, I mean, they have to feel super confident about potentially going to another Champ 4 this year. If they can get there, they have to feel great about their championship hopes. And if you're not, a Toyota, if you're a Hendrick Chevrolet, usually there's 1 or 2 Hendrick Chevys in the Final Four. You are not feeling great at all about coming back to Phoenix. It's probably the last track on the schedule you want to go to. Not a single Hendrick Chevy inside of the top 10 right now. And there probably won't be one when we get to the checkered flag. The Fords have shown mediocre pace, but I mean, it's just the Toyotas and 23XI that really look like they could actually go out and win today. Even finish in the top 5 for all that matter. The only reason there's not a Toyota in the top 5 is because of some people getting caught out by strategy.
You can't hold it wide open around Phoenix. Maybe he should take a look and realize he can't do that too. He drove straight in the back of me, and easy man enough to own up to that.
Logano not happy with Nemechek taking him out there, but I mean, that's just part of racing occasionally. Sometimes you're on the short end of the stick. Nemechek gonna slide up in front of Dillon. I mean, these guys are both laps down. Not worth anything here.
It's definitely one of those situations that just was definitely misjudged or whatever.
Reddick closing in on McDowell, who's starting to fade.
Pretty hard to turn him around.
Chastain was getting chased by Keselowski, but I think once he finally got there, they decided to stop saving fuel and push the accelerator again. Now 20 laps to go for Christopher Bell. Byron started to make up a few spots on this long green flag run. Was in 20th, now he's up to 17th. Boy, oh boy, what a dominant performance. Gregson Hamlin battling for the 10th spot right now. Hamlin to the inside of Gregson. Let's look at our fantasy points. Ooh. League, look at the league. How are we doing right now? We were in first at one point, but a few of my drivers got shuffled out. Oh, we're still in first, so I guess I'll take that. I know we had Gibbs on the roster as well as Reddick, Hamlin, Byron, and Elliott. So honestly, a lot of points that we could have had, considering the Hendrick cars got shuffled so far back. Reddick looking to the inside of McDowell. He's got Blaney in tow. Once Reddick and Blaney get around McDowell, it's a pretty big gap to get to Keselowski and Chastain, but I wouldn't rule him out. All right. Laps continuing to click off here as we look at the live standings as they run. I don't think we're going to see many more positions changed here before the checkered flag is thrown. So I think now is a good time where we can kind of judge some of the points.
That caution couldn't have come out at a worse spot. I mean, think about Hendrick Motorsports. You look at
And Larson will get by Gilliland for 13th. Or I spoke too soon. He's in the process of getting by him. Now he is by him. Yeah, he is now still the highest running Hendrick car. Blaney still leading the points by 7 over Larson. Then Byron in third, 15 back. Reddick fourth, 17 back. Gibbs in fifth, 18 back. Then we can talk about the cut line. Right now, as they run, Michael McDowell is the last driver in by 1 point over Chris Buescher. Cendric is 2 points to the good over Buescher. Then Jones is 2 points to the bad. Briscoe is 3 points to the bad. Stenhouse is 6 points to the bad. Nemechek 7 points to the bad. So those are some guys right around that cut line. Notables below the cut line. Keselowski in 22nd. I mean, he's really the only driver that, and Logano down in 30th, getting wrecked again. So Logano really off to a rough start here this season. He just wants to finish a race.
Just 6 laps ago. That's why he has speed on Chastain, who is the 4th place car. Zane Smith is 3 laps down.
That caution was just what the doctor ordered for RFK. Both of them. Keselowski.
Also looking at Truex with the fresh tires. He's grinding up through this field. He's up to 16th. Going to be getting by Hocevar here pretty soon. He might have a shot at a top 10. So all things considered, he might end up finishing better than if he would have pitted with the other guys. Because right now Hamlin's running around 11th as well as Gregson in 10th. Keselowski looking to the inside of Chastain. He's been trying to make this pass for the last 20 laps. And, oh boy, really cleared himself there. Chastain able to cross him over. It might be 3 wide with Preece there. He's got to stay aware of that. Preece on fresh tires is going to go by both of them. And Keselowski's got the spot. That's up to 4th, making it RFK 3 and 4.
Yeah, Brad's come on pretty good here at the end of this run compared to Ross. Able to pick up one more spot here at the end of this thing.
Now, I don't see Brad Keselowski going and catching his teammate at this point. Really, these guys are just hoping Blaney doesn't catch him. Hey, Buescher's going to get to the outside of Gibbs. This is for second. Around the outside, in 1 and 2. Gibbs second to Chris Buescher. And Gibbs is falling off a cliff. With 11 to go, I actually might have spoken too early. Keselowski might be able to catch the 54, making an RFK 2-3. Truex now up to 14th. I think he can definitely get to the top 10 with 10 laps to go still. Got to pass 4 more cars.
Yeah, right now for Christopher Bell, he just wants to hit his marks and keep the car up on the racetrack. No reason to cut the apron or take any chances with those tires. Just keep the car doing what you've been doing the last several laps. Stay in your rhythm and don't take any chances. You got a huge lead.
9 laps to go. The one lap they want to get past is 5 to go, because that's what caught out Justin Allgaier yesterday.
Last year in November, Bell came here to win a championship.
Oh boy. I mean, this is going to feel somewhat redemptive after the letdown of Phoenix in the fall. But, I mean, it's definitely going to be like a series of what-ifs. What if we could have finished that race with this car? Maybe we would have been able to be the champions at the end. Reddick's starting to go backwards on this run now as Briscoe's getting to the inside of the 45. These guys battling side by side. That's going to allow Gregson and Hamlin and others to potentially catch up to him. Truex is going to get by Larson for 13th.
Looks like Reddick's going to get at least one more spot before this one's done.
Briscoe down low below the apron. Still side by side with Reddick for about a lap now. Reddick's going to tuck in line, maybe go for the crossover. Yes, he will. Truex has now gotten by Suarez up to 12th. And Briscoe with the crossover on Reddick now. This is a good battle here with 6 laps to go. And these guys just crossing each other over once again now through turns 1 and 2. I think Reddick might be able to slide him and clear him here. And I spoke too soon. Reddick and Briscoe keep going top to bottom on each other, having a good time, but that's allowed Gregson, Hamlin, and Truex to just close right in on them. Dead Center guy, hey man, long time. Real talk, what is wrong with Elliott? Nothing wrong with Elliott per se, just track position's key. Got shuffled out by cautions. I mean, Hendrick as a whole has just been off the pace today. Here we go, Truex getting by Hamlin and Gregson. So after having to pit from the lead, getting the fresh tires, he's come from a lap down and is now into the 10th position. Probably going to get 9th or 8th out of this even. Anyways, yeah, nothing really wrong with Elliott. Just another not great day.
I've heard several interviews out of him and his confidence and the way that he speaks and the way that he wants to be the leader and confident in his abilities to go out and do what he's doing. And I think the best way to do that is go out and show everybody.
Jefferson, poor Blaney, in 6th all day. Yeah. All right, though. I mean, the best Penske is worth something. Going to be 2 to go now for Christopher Bell. He has really dominated the second half of this race. Buescher in 2nd with a great result for him. Gibbs in 3rd, Keselowski in 4th. I mean, both RFK cars off to not a great start this season. This will definitely be a bump in the right direction for them. Chastain, Blaney, McDowell, Truex, Briscoe, Reddick, your top 10. Then Gregson, Hamlin, Suarez, Larson, and Hocevar, your top 15. Solid result for Hocevar. And this is the final time around for Christopher Bell in a race that he has dominated. He is going to come down the back straightaway for the final time. And he is glad to now be locked into the playoffs. And he is looking forward to coming back to Phoenix, hopefully to fight for a championship and become a first-time NASCAR Cup Series champion. Alpha, turn number 4, Christopher Bell wins in Phoenix. There you go. Buescher 2nd. Gibbs 3rd. RFK getting us 2-4. Blaney rounds out the top 5. He's able to get by Chastain on that final lap. Truex able to get by McDowell and Briscoe. He'll come home 7th. Then McDowell, Briscoe, Reddick, your top 10. Hamlin, Gregson lost a spot to Hamlin on that final lap. Then Suarez, Larson, Hocevar, your top 15. Wallace, Gilliland, Byron, Elliott, and Bowman, your top 20. Man, a day that Hendrick is really going to have to look back with no cars inside the top 10 off of just raw pace. All right, guys. That's it. I'm already out of here. I have to go eat dinner. That was a race to forget, honestly. Phoenix, the one takeaway, can we please not have the championship race at Phoenix? Please.